It is 10 a.m. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. In NFL news, the Patriots are set to release wide receiver Stefon Diggs, according to ESPN. The 32-year-old signed a 3-year, $69 million deal last year and had a 1,000-yard season during New England's run to the Super Bowl. He will be a free agent at the start of the new league year this coming Wednesday. The Nashville Predators have made another trade, sending defenseman Nick Blankenberg to Colorado in exchange for a 2027 fifth-rounder. It is the third move of the week for the Preds, with the trade deadline tomorrow in the NHL. The Preds in action tonight again at Bridgestone Arena, hosting the Boston Bruins with a 7 p.m. puck drop. And the Lady Vols SEC tournament journey starts tonight against Alabama in Greenville. 7:30 is the tip-off. Tennessee looking to end a 6-game losing skid. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're happy to have you for the next 3 hours. 76 and sunny, Lucas. It's like you prayed for it.
I prayed long, I prayed consistently, and we've been rewarded. And if I get duped, and if Mother Nature tries to come back around with her BS and slap us with a 45-degree week in a couple of weeks, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm going to be angry about it.
Empty threats. Right in line with the show's theme. Yes, we're happy to have you. If you want to chime in, 615-737-1045 is the number. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch is where you can interact with the F&M Bank chat. We have 100 different transactions to talk about in the NFL. We're going to have Casey Alexander on this hour because Belmont basketball, again, is a wagon. But Arch Madness is getting ready to get underway. That tournament hasn't already started. I know that one starts a little earlier than your average conference tournament, but that hasn't officially gotten underway yet.
Starts today. Belmont will play tomorrow. They are the 1 seed, obviously, after winning the regular season for the first time since they moved to the MVC. They will play the winner between Drake and SIU.
I'm being informed that I have not told Robert good morning yet. Good morning,
hey,
Robert. Oh. That's all you wanted. That's the mousetrap. That's your grand plan. You were making all kind of Pokemon references yesterday. You remember Team Rocket? You're Team Rocket with the ditch. You're perpetually digging a ditch to try and get me into a trap, but your greatest weapon is, hey, Buck.
Hey, Buck.
Yeah.
I mean, the shadows and blasting off again are kind of akin to each other as well.
Well, I'm concerned about the level of blasting off back there that goes on a regular basis, depending on what your meaning is. Speaking of things that get people fired up, Jeremiah Love is at the Titans facility today. If you didn't know it, because of his Instagram post, every Titans Twitter aggregator in the world just took a screenshot of his Instagram post and then posted it, informing the world, as if Jeremiah Love didn't do it himself, that Jeremiah Love is here. So in case you didn't know, Titans Twitter is there for you.
Jordan on YouTube, where you can jump in the F&M Bank chat, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, says Love is in the air and in the building. And I think Titans fans, on aggregate, are in on Love. I've heard more positive feedback on the idea of drafting Jeremiah Love. That's going to happen multiple times. Than I have negative feedback. I have heard negative feedback, but not as much as I thought I would when it comes to drafting potentially a running back with the number 4 overall pick.
I am in agreement with you. I have heard mostly positive feedback on the idea of Jeremiah Love with the 4th overall pick. I think that is the thing that a lot of people might have been reticent before, but you start to swing around on things. And the real question is, and you can interact with the show if you would like to engage with this question, is the Titans roster in a place where you can draft a running back? And it's not just a running back, okay? Let's start there. Where you can draft Jeremiah Love with the number 4 overall pick, a player who Dane Brugler, the Athletics' top NFL draft analyst, gave a draft grade, a prospect grade similar to Bijan Robinson. And before you answer that question, think about what today is. Today is March the 5th. What has yet to happen on March the 5th in the NFL calendar?
Yeah, a lot of roster moves in free agency.
We don't have free agency yet. We are just starting to see cap casualties at this point in time. We are starting to see trades as we ramp up for the NFL draft in less than 2 months, but we have not yet gotten to the thing that people continue to tout about the Titans, which is that they have more money in cap space than football Jesus.
You
Let it
mentioned
rain down upon your offensive line and then deliver us Jordan Love.
Jeremiah Love.
Damn it.
It's going to happen so much.
I thought I nailed the dismount.
Speaking of Dane Brugler and his latest mock draft, post-combine, his mock draft 2.0, he does have Jeremiah Love to the Titans at number 4 overall.
I was going to say Love.
Yeah, J. Love. It goes Mendoza 1 to the Raiders, Arvell Reese 2 to the Jets, Francis Maui-Noah 3 to the Cardinals, Jeremiah Love 4 to the Titans. And Brugler writes, should the Titans at this point in their roster construction invest a premium pick at running back? Debatable. But with money to spend in free agency, Tennessee should be in a much more stable place before we get to April. He also says an AFC scout for a team that already has an established running back called Love, quote, the best player in the draft. Instead of getting hung up on positional value, the Titans should focus on, quote, impact value and what a talent like Love could do, not only for the run game, but the passing game and offense overall. He says head coach Robert Saleh spent the last year watching Christian McCaffrey's impact on the San Francisco 49ers and could see similar potential in Love. Now, the devil's advocate of that argument, look at what Christian McCaffrey was able to do in San Francisco since he got there, is how much did Christian McCaffrey help the Panthers win meaningfully with
Sam Darnold.
a lack of of a competitive roster. Now, injuries were a huge part of McCaffrey's story in Carolina.
Missed a ton of time after the second contract.
And he's been pretty healthy in San Francisco for the most part. But that would be the devil's advocate. Like, spending that capital on a running back didn't exactly help the Panthers win playoff games, but they didn't exactly have the best situation around him either.
I think that the merchandising opportunities are worth them taking Jeremiah Love alone, because I see a comment in the F&M Bank chat that may be the single greatest comment I've ever seen in the F&M Bank chat from Rookie 18.
It's high praise.
Not really. Have you seen the chat? All's fair in Love and Ward.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You're going to give credit for that.
I think that's pretty good.
That's
you
pretty
didn't
good.
think of it.
That's my burner.
That's not your burner.
So you admitted that you like my jokes now. Thank you.
You know how I know it's good? Because you're butthurt that you didn't think of it.
Quite the contrary.
No, defensive.
I wanted to place something in here to see if you would compliment it, and you did, and it's my burner. For example, I'm going to put my favorite Ravens player in the chat right now, and you'll know it's me.
Somebody said that's corny. Shut up. It's great.
Seriously, on the F&M Bank chat.
Don't do that.
Says,
just say your buddy Jay.
I'm reading from the chat. It says, seriously.
Hi, Jay.
He says, ball knower, I must add.
He is.
Says, running back makes
his
sense.
lovely wife, Bree, was complaining about the amount of Excel sheets that he does on draft prospects and stuff like that at your Super Bowl deal.
He says, running back makes sense, but only if a wide receiver 1 is added. It is a waste if no one respects the passing game, and it didn't help the Giants either.
Again, there are arguments to detract from Jeremiah Love with the 4th overall pick. There are arguments to support the case for Jeremiah Love. The biggest case in support of Jeremiah Love is, okay, what are they going to do in free agency? Because if for whatever reason, and I have zero indication that they are even thinking about this, I'm sure they have at least some consideration, some different versions of what their roster build will look like this offseason to account for, moving pieces and parts, the shell game that is free agency. But if they sign Kenneth Walker, then we're not talking about Jeremiah Love anymore, right?
Who, the Titans?
Yeah. I just, best available running back in the market. And even if they go anywhere of a starting caliber running back.
Or just keep Tony Pollard. I could live with that. And if you draft Jeremiah Love.
Oh, yeah, you could live with that. It's just the question of how much are you banking on immediate impact of the player for where your roster is versus what this could potentially be.
Yeah.
As you try and support Cam Ward further, you take pressure off of Cam Ward by putting together the best possible run game, and that allows both sides to thrive. Complementary football.
And what it could be 2-3 years down the road. You don't draft Jeremiah Love. You don't have to get everything out of Jeremiah Love during his rookie year. Like the best, you would hope, for the Raiders' sake, the best of Ashton Genty is still to come. Not in his rookie year behind a dreadful offensive line in Vegas.
Hope for his sake, yeah.
I mean, they spent that capital on Genty. I don't think they regret spending that capital on Genty just because they had a bad situation in front of him and he wasn't able to light the world on fire. Clearly, they have to build around him. But if they do, and it hits, he feels like a player that could take off and make a leap like a Bijan Robinson. So if you're drafting Jeremiah Love, you're drafting him not just for 2026, obviously, for 2027, for 2028.
Now, I never know whether the person making these comments is serious or not, because in keeping with...
Serious.
Yeah, say it right if you're going to. That's what it says. It says seriously in the chat.
The speed with which you ran to the microphone to get that joke off.
If you think I'm running anywhere, you're sorely mistaken. My fat ass was sitting right here the whole show.
But I'm talking about Duck Falling in our F&M Bank chat, who, in keeping with the fact that it clearly appears to be a burner of me, is a gaslighting SOB. So I'd never know if the comments are serious or not. But this one reads like it could be. All these good running backs in Titans-Oilers history, yet we ain't got jack to show for it. No on Love is what he writes. It is, maybe that's not the most, like he's not trying to hammer home his point with, no, Eddie George and Derrick Henry and Chris Johnson. Like they didn't get them that close to a Super Bowl. Eddie and Derek were the closest.
Yeah,
Derek damn near did it by himself. I know he did.
2-1 and a game from one.
Yes. So they got close, but like, no, I think at the end of the day, don't put all that pressure on one player. It is a team sport. It is the ultimate team sport. You have to have the best team possible to be able to accomplish this goal. And even then, you may get unlucky, and your quarterback that helped you get off to an 8-2 start after you just traded just traded for a multiple first-round picks for a stud corner from the New York Jets. He can fracture a fibula and then blow out an Achilles in back-to-back months, basically, and completely crater your franchise's future. Like, the Colts could have won the Super Bowl, and they very much didn't because they just got super unlucky halfway through.
I mean, you could look at that as, look how many star running backs this franchise has had. How many Super Bowls do they have? Or you could look at it as, think of the best teams in this franchise's history. Top 3 players, one of them is a running back, right? Like the best moments you've had as a Titans fan probably were with either Eddie George, Chris Johnson, or Derrick Henry playing football for the Titans.
Sure. And on YouTube, brother, I'm just hoping for a 7-10 season. I mean, it would be a coup. Are you kidding me? For as godforsaken as they've been these last 2 years?
What was the Titans running back name when Bishop Sankey got drafted, but an undrafted dude ended
Antonio Andrews?
Yes, there you go.
Western Kentucky legend.
Some of my favorite Titans movies come
legend.
with Anthony. Really? I love seeing athletes in the wild. I'm sure that was fun.
Yeah, that one time, Antonio Andrews, a frequent Tin Roof attendee.
Still?
Also, isn't that where Tajay Sharp got in a bar fight because they drafted Corey Davis 5th overall?
I don't know if that was why. You think he was just like, I'm going to punch the next guy I see.
I think some guy was harassing, if I remember the story correctly, some guy was giving him crap at the bar, and that then provoked Tajay Sharp into a situation.
Oh, you thought you were going to start. They replaced you.
I think it was kind of one of those. Also, I think you remember Sebastian Tretola, Titans legend.
Ooh, I've never even heard that name before.
He was an Oklahoma linebacker or offensive lineman. I think that was my first year covering the draft. Pretty sure shot himself in the leg outside of Tin Roof. So Tin Roof, where it all happens. Coming up next, you're going to hear a portion of the Install, the podcast that Greg Cosell and I do each and every Thursday morning. We recap the Combine, talked a little bit about the domino effect that Kyler Murray has on this offseason for every team, including the Titans, coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Best hot chicken in the world. Great day to enjoy any one of their Middle Tennessee locations because several of them have a patio, and it is a beautiful day to eat lunch outside. If you're able to do just that, and if you just want your hot chicken, you can mobile order it via the Hattie B's app. So we do the install every Thursday morning when we are at the Combine. We did it twice in a week. We had great conversation with Greg, and we've talked a lot about the freakish Combine testing numbers that came out this year and how important it actually is for the purposes of evaluating draftable players. So we started with a portion of that conversation. We got into some of the transactions, McDuffie and Kyler, and the domino effect that both of those deals will have this coming offseason. Install with Greg Cosell of NFL Films on this Thursday, March the 5th. We're both back from the Combine where, Greg, I know you had an incredibly productive week. Greg always stays through the weekend, which is got to be, a lot of fun and a lot of good intel and conversations, but exhausting all the same.
Yes, it was. But for me, I love going to the workouts, and we'll get to that in a sec. But for me, it's just the conversations that I get to have with personnel people, GMs, scouts, coaches. It's part of keep learning more and more and more, because there's certain things that I can't possibly know because I don't work for an organization. And, just for instance, walking back from one of the workouts, I ended up walking back with a GM, really highly respected GM from a team. And, I asked him, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, what are the things that you really look for in evaluation? What are the critical things? And he said two things. He said, the film and the person. And he said, the rest is kind of ancillary. So, obviously everything is part of a puzzle, but you have to watch a guy play football. And then you want to see, find out what kind of person it is. Because this GM said to me, he said, it's a cliche, but you really have to love football. I said, we have guys on our team that, 24/7, 365. They're thinking football. They're trying to get better. And then there's always a guy that, is a great talent, but he'd rather be smoking weed. He said you always have those guys. So, you try to find out which guys are which and, which guys you really want on your team, because it's become a 24/7, 365 kind of deal.
Yeah, and I think that's a natural transition for us because there's been a lot of dialogue around the Combine and the value of the Combine, Greg, in the days after the fact. I wonder what you make of the practicality of some of these drills, understanding that the Combine keeps these drills in place, and they're pretty rigid about it for historical testing data.
Sure.
They want to continue to have that, that through line as long as we continue to do it in this specific way. But if the sample size is being impacted by, how few players actually go through the drills at this point in time, Greg, where you have one running back doing the 3-cone, where you have, 8 or 9 linebackers skipping out on a handful of drills. And for the purposes of time, it goes faster. But it actually, I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation to have for somebody who talks to as many football executives, scouts, and coaches as you do.
Yeah, and don't forget that now you're in a situation where players start training for the Combine, particularly when their season ends, which, is usually around Thanksgiving, give or take. And then, if guys are going into the draft, they don't normally play in bowl games unless they're in the playoffs, but if they're not, they skip the bowl game. So they have 2-3 months to train. And so you would expect, with the advancements in training and technology, that the Combine numbers, the athletic testing measurables, are just going to get better and better. And we saw that this year. This was as clean a Combine as I ever can remember. And I've been going since 1999, where just everybody looked really smooth and comfortable. Now, some guys didn't work out, obviously, but it just looked really, really good. But I don't think that you can look at that and then automatically say that makes a guy a better or worse football player. As I said when I spoke to the GM, you've got to watch guys play football. And that's really number one. Now, obviously, there's levels of football, and teams think that way. Buck, obviously, if you play in a Power 4 conference, evaluators feel that, hey, you're getting a good sense. If you play in a lesser conference or in FCS, maybe the conversation is a little different. But the point is, you have to watch a guy play football, because the testing's only going to get better and better. I mean, these guys train specifically for it. And I mean, I'm not familiar with all the testing because that's not my area, but you and I both know it's getting crazy, all this technology now. I mean, it's, you know, God, these guys, it's unbelievable what these guys do now.
Oh yeah, I mean, it just sports science has advanced
Yeah.
in the same way that technology in any field in any line
Yeah.
of business has advanced leaps and bounds in recent memory. Whether it be the recovery, whether it be the nutrition, all these different
Yeah.
things that these guys use to support their performance and should, whether it's for the purposes of just playing football or training for the combine or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. So in that particular sense, Greg, just on average, because I always preface these conversations as you do, saying, you only have you're a one-man band when it comes to
Right.
the pre-draft process. On average, how many prospects would you say you're able to do the kind of tape study that you want to
What
pre-draft?
I try to do, and it's very frustrating because when I go to the combine, it only makes me feel more frustrated. But I can do about 200, uh, where I feel like I've done them the right way. Um, Believe me, I wish I could do every guy at the combine, but I simply can't. I'm one person. I mean, it's, for people that have listened to us and people that have listened to me in other venues, they know that I don't take shortcuts when I do this. I'm not going to watch one game and decide what a player is. I'm not going to watch 20 plays, and decide what he is. So I'm sitting and grinding through games, and particularly for defensive players, you have got to watch games. In my opinion, anyway. And I know that that's the way people in the league feel. You've got to watch games. Now, I'm in a different situation, because I don't work for a team. I can only work with what the league's what format. So I can't break it down the way teams can. Well, because all these teams pay a ton of money for particular services where they can just, hey, they can pull up all Ruben Bain's pass rushes. I can't do that. I wish I could. I can't.
Yeah.
But on a certain level, watching the full games really helps.
I ask that with the context of, when you see a guy test, when you're on the field for these drills that you may not have gotten to, or maybe you watched him,
Yeah.
but maybe it gives you, it sparks something in your mind like, okay, maybe I need to go back and see, or maybe I'd like to go watch a few more snaps of this particular player. Not based off, because we understand that the testing is not necessarily the most practical football application of it, but just somebody who you see and you're like, oh, I haven't gotten to that guy yet,
Well,
or I'd like to go back and see how that might translate on tape.
and by the combine, it's not as if I've done 200 guys. Obviously, I've
Right.
only, maybe I've done 30 guys or 40 guys in great detail. Normally, I don't go back, Buck, unless the combine numbers are so different in my mind from the tape. Like a big story was Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State,
Hmm.
who, by the way, I like Cardinal Tate a lot. Um, if I had to pick my top receiver in the draft, and you know me, I don't make a list, he'd probably be it. But it's funny, even though he caught vertical balls at Ohio State and he's long and therefore has stride length, I did not see him as a true vertical dimension based on tape study. So now again, he ran 4.54, something like that, and people were surprised because in college he did have vertical plays. But that's where, and I'm not saying I know more than others. That's not my point. But I didn't see him just because he did that in college. I didn't see him as someone who would be drafted to say he'd be a vertical guy.
Yeah.
So, when he runs what he ran, that didn't surprise me at all. And again, that has nothing to do with my evaluation of him because I don't think he'll be drafted to be a vertical dimension. I think he'll be drafted to be an all-around quality receiver, somewhat similar to his former teammate Abuka. Just guys who are good, solid receivers who can get vertical at times, but you're not drafting them to say this guy's going to be our burner.
So from combine testing, and we put a bow on that, we'll have pro days, obviously, and Greg and I will work our way through positions here in the coming weeks. Obviously, next week will be a heavy free agency show, Greg,
Yeah.
around the league. But we already do have a number of transactions, and I'd like to start with one trade before we get to one player who's scheduled to be released when the
Yes.
new league year starts at the quarterback position. But I'd like to talk about the Chiefs moving Trent McDuffie to the LA Rams for a package of 4 draft picks. The compensation for our purposes does not necessarily matter, but it is Trent McDuffie has been a good player for them for a long time. And I wonder what you think of Kansas City, their approach to this from a philosophical standpoint, Greg. They have not retained a corner
I
that
know.
they have drafted to that organization in quite some time. I mean, I'm trying to recall the last cornerback that got a second contract with the Chiefs because I mean, you're going back as far as Marcus Peters, and we just talked about L'Jarius Sneed a couple of years ago with the Titans. Now McDuffie, they seem pretty comfortable in their scouting process, and also a
Yeah.
Hall of Fame defensive coordinator in Steve Spagnuolo to kind of fill in the gaps as they continue to try and make decisions around their roster. But in that LA defense, how do you see the McDuffie
Well,
transaction helping them?
this is not a profound or controversial statement, but the weakness of that Rams defense was the corner position. And one thing we know about the Rams is when they feel they have a weakness or they want to improve in their mind, they go out and they get people and they don't really worry about, oh, I'm giving up a first round pick or whatever they're giving up. It's like when they got Stafford, they thought he was a major upgrade over Goff, and then they won a Super Bowl. They don't worry about what they're giving up. They didn't have a first round pick for a number of years. So that was clearly the weakness in their defense, and now they've addressed it. And McDuffie in their defense will play on the outside, but he is a multi-dimensional player that can play on the inside as well. And you never know how that'll work out, depending on other moves and other draft picks, because we still have all that coming up. But he's a very good player. And keep one thing in mind: Jimmy Lake is a defensive assistant with the Rams. He was the Washington coach. I can't remember whether he was the head coach or the DB or the D coordinator, but he was at Washington when McDuffie was there. And Jimmy Lake has a phenomenally deserved reputation for making defensive backs really good players. That's his thing. They're tough, they're physical, they're competitive. I mean, you can look throughout the league. There's Washington DBs in the league. Kyler Gordon with the Bears, another great example. But McDuffie he's a tempo setter. He's a swagger guy. And that was their weakness. And now, but you mentioned the Chiefs. Don't forget, last year they drafted Noel Williams in the 3rd round out of Cal. And he played a lot of snaps for them down the stretch. And he played well because, obviously I was watching the Chiefs pretty much every week. So, I think they feel very comfortable with their ability to draft and develop corners. And the thing I don't get into, and they probably have players they have to sign, and you make a decision because I think Karlaftis is coming up for his contract. So you have to make a decision somewhere along the line. And when fans or media see it in a vacuum, they go, "Oh my God, how do you trade McDuffie?" But as you know, you can't sign everybody.
Yeah. And it's
Obviously they feel very good about drafting corners and Spag's ability to work a defense, with younger corners because they let L'Jarius Sneed go when he, I know that's a tough thing for Titans fans with how that worked out. But when he was with the Chiefs, he was a great player.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely. They
so they feel comfortable doing this.
No, and to your point, like you can't talk about any of these transactions at all in a vacuum because you have to
No,
consider where each team is in their competitive cycle. I mean, to your point about the Rams, they have only used one first round pick in the draft, like to draft a player to their team. In 2024, they drafted Jared Verse. Every other year between now and 2017, they've traded their pick away to another team
yeah,
to acquire a player. That's just who they are.
that's their philosophy. And they compete perfectly fine. So every team has a different philosophy. I don't work for a team, so every team has their approach. But I've always believed, that it was like last year, I think it was when people thought Patrick Surtain might be available, and people were like, "Well, I don't want to give up a first round pick." And I'm thinking to myself, "What are you nuts?"
Yeah.
The guy's 24, 25 years old. You're not getting a better corner in the draft than Patrick Surtain. see, that's the stuff I don't get. But teams hoard their picks. Clearly not the Rams, but most teams hoard their picks like it's gold. Like it's crypto. It's and sometimes I don't get that, but I guess that's sort of the general philosophy in the league.
Crypto is a good comparison for that. I really like that analogy.
Yeah.
So from the McDuffie trade to a player, again, none of these transactions can be made official until the new league year, which of course is next week for the audience's purposes, and that will be the start of free agency and all of that. But Kyler Murray is one such player that's been informed that the Cardinals are planning to release him. There are, I would say, Greg, anywhere between 7 and 8 teams that just need to figure out a quarterback situation heading into this year. And Kyler, I know I've talked to you about him before. He's just a very difficult player to try and nail down, it feels like.
He is. And, look, I know a lot more about Kyler because I have contacts and have spoken to people, and I'm not going to get into those details. I think everybody understands that he's a little bit difficult as a person. So we'll leave it at that because I know way more, but I'm not going there. But as a player, you nailed it. He's difficult to pin down. Does he throw the ball well? Yes. Does he have explosive improvisational traits? Yes. Is there any given week where all that comes together and, man, you come away thinking this guy's a top 5, top 7 quarterback in the league? He has those games, Buck, where you come away and you go, wow, look at Kyler Murray. But, most of his really good games result from his ability to make spectacular improvisational plays. And that really can't be the foundation on which a consistent week-to-week quarterback is built. And because of his size, he always has some issues in the pocket. It has nothing to do with his ability to throw a football. He can throw a football beautifully. That's not the point. But there's no question that there are times he can't see things. That leaves throws on the field that need to be thrown. There's other times he'll break the pocket too early because when people get around him, the vision is gone. So he's a very tough guy to be really consistent week to week. So what does that mean if you sign him? It means that you've got to have a lot of team. You've got to have a run game. You've got to have a defense. In a sense, despite the fact that he's improvisationally brilliant, he's really just a piece. And so what does that mean for a team? That's you got to decide that. I mean, that's.
So that is a portion of this morning's episode of The Install with Greg Cosell. You can check it out wherever you get your podcasts. Also, the live show. It's going to happen on May the 1st. We'll tell you when tickets are available. We're looking forward to having 300 plus of you in the house at the Analog Room in the Hutton Hotel again this year. So the roster construction component of it. Robert, you brought up an interesting fact in my ear during that segment relative to the Rams, because the thing about the Rams, and I brought this up in the conversation with Greg, they have traded every first-round pick that they've had in the last 10 drafts but one. And that one they used on Jared Verse, who ended up being well worth the draft pick at this point in time. Robert, what is the fact that you told me that the audience should know?
And this is from Joe Moreno on Twitter, who's a great follower for little nuggets like this. They have made the 3rd most picks in the NFL over the last 5 years.
So it's not really bleep them picks.
It's really bleep them top picks to acquire obvious talent.
Proven players.
But he notes, since 2022, here are their non-round 1 hits. Puka Nacua in round 5, Steve Azalea in round 2, Warren McClendon in round 5, Kyron Williams in round 5, Braden Fisk in round 2, Kobe Turner in round 3, Byron Young in round 3, Cam Kitchens in round 3, Quentin Lake in round 6, Kobe Durant in round 4, and their punter Ethan Evans in round 7. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 starters. So half of the necessary starters on offense and defense they have found with non-first-round picks.
Why do we think more teams don't adopt that? I mean, I understand that they've got their quarterback situation figured out, so it's a lot easier for them.
Other teams aren't in that position. I think the Rams can safely quantify that they're not going to be picking in the top 20 picks in most drafts. So it gives them the freedom to go, okay, just average value between the 20th and the 32nd pick is this. Can we get a player that will equate to better talent over the same period of that draft pick than a rookie would? And in more cases than not, to help a Super Bowl caliber team, the answer is yes.
We'll pivot back to the NFL later, but Casey Alexander, the head coach of the number 1 seed Belmont Bruins, is coming up next. If you're noticing issues with ED or performance, then your relationships, your confidence, and even your career may have already been affected. Online folks promise convenience and discretion, but their treatments are generic, some even unsafe. Guys, no more excuses. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is the state's first men's health-focused urology practice with multiple urologists and providers focused solely on male performance. No unproven snake oil or peptides without solid research. Since 2014, they've pioneered men's health in Tennessee and have been testing and growing to make sure you get the best care and the safest, most effective treatments. Call them at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or visit them online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. March is one of my favorite months of the year because college basketball is in full swing. You've got the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament getting ready to tip off tonight, of which the Belmont Bruins are the number 1 seed. Coach Casey Alexander joins us now. We are really rooting for you guys, Casey. Not that we don't always root for you guys. But so you don't have to be our tournament analyst this year. We would like to see you in the tournament as opposed to BSing around with us the way that you've been so good to do these last couple of years.
How about we just do it from the road, and do it live and in person from the NCAA tournament, make it more authentic.
Yeah, I'm sure you would love that.
It's high on my list of priorities for sure.
I appreciate your candor at that point, but no, we'll probably leave you to do the important things at that point in time. But first, we have to get through this conference tournament. I mean, it's just the season that you've had, Casey. Obviously, you guys are accustomed to success in the Valley, but 26-5, the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. Just what can you say about the job that your team has done and your staff has done throughout the course of the season?
Yeah, really proud of all involved. It's been an exceptional season. We've been very consistent from start to finish. You want to win them all, but in this league, that's not reality. It's not really reality for anybody except for Miami of Ohio, I guess. The body of work has been good. To win the regular season by 3 games is a great accomplishment. It should serve us well moving into the tournament, but it won't mean much once the ball is tipped.
Yeah, how do you balance that in your approach, Coach, to genuinely take pride in what you just accomplished? Your first ever regular season title, 5 losses all season, but to have that mindset of it may not matter for our ultimate goal if we don't get what we need to get done this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have to acknowledge it. I think it's it's a shame if you can't celebrate an accomplishment and give the players and staff the credit they deserve for a great regular season. The regular season is long and grinding. We've been doing it since June, so we need to feel the reward and take some appreciation for that, and we need to use it as proof that we belong and we're as good as anybody in the league, clearly. And so let's play with confidence and know what the end result can be. But you just don't walk into a conference tournament with the assumption you're going to win because of anything that's happened in the past. In a lot of ways, it's literally starting over for a 3-game season.
Oh, sorry to cut you off. Offensively, you guys have had some really nice moments this season. You've turned it on in some games with huge comeback wins against Drake, against Murray State on the road. What do you like about where your offense is? I know you've been confident about your defense for the most part all year, but what do you like about what you guys are doing offensively right now heading into postseason play?
Yeah, well, defense has been better all year, but offense has been better than defense. I mean, we've had an exceptional season offensively. For the better part of the season, we've had the number 1 effective field goal percentage in the country, which is a combination of 2s and 3s. I think as we stand here today, maybe we're 2nd in 3-point field goal percentage and 5th in 2-point field goal percentage. And so those numbers come from guys that are willing to share the ball and make sure we're taking good shots. It's carried us throughout the season. Things get tougher, things get slower in tournament play, and it'll take a combined offensive and defensive effort to win.
Obviously, we don't know who your first round opponent will be just yet. We'll have game 1 to decide that. So how do you kind of approach that in the lead up, Casey, understanding that as soon as we have the results in hand this afternoon, you'll be able to actually prep? You've seen both of these teams before, though.
Yeah, sure. We played them both twice, Drake and SIU. But it's the unnerving part about the week. We haven't played since Sunday, but we won't know till about 6:00 tonight who we're playing tomorrow, and we play at noon. We'll have a late practice, which will be more of a walkthrough shoot around at a local high school. We've prepared video. We're all ready. We'll be ready to play the game, but it's just unusual to be at this stage and know that we play at noon tomorrow, and we still have no idea who we're playing in our first round game.
Yeah, I mean it's the conversation for in any sport when you have a bye in a tournament or playoffs. Type of situation, the rest versus rust of it. It's always interesting to kind of pick coaches' brains about how you approach that with your team, because there's no one set way to get the job done correctly. And even then, you're dealing with the unknown.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking my opinion, I would love as many buys as they'll give us. I mean, to be able to advance without playing is pretty spectacular. It can only get worse if you're playing the game. So, but at the same time, you play the hand that's dealt, and you go by the bracket, and you play whoever shows up, and make sure you're ready to go and take it one game at a time, as they say.
Coach Casey Alexander with us, the Belmont Bruins starting MVC tournament play tomorrow. You've achieved some nice balance offensively all season on your roster, Coach. 4 players averaging double figures, but Tyler Lundblade just has continued on this path of productivity from last year, setting 3-point records for Belmont to this year, averaging 16 a game, or just under 16 a game. I heard you talking to local media about that being an example of a guy that when you bring him in, you're thinking about what you can do for him, and then it turns into what he's done for you. How do you quantify what Tyler Lundblade has meant to Belmont basketball?
Yeah, it's well documented. It's an awesome story, and he's had 2 phenomenal years. For him to follow up what he did last season, where he led the whole country in 3-point field goal percentage with over 100 makes. Like, it's one thing to shoot a good percentage. It's another thing to be. Yeah, I think he's second or third in the country right now in makes on the season, and he's still over 40%. So he carries the load for us. Yesterday, he was named the Conference Player of the Year, the Larry Bird Player of the Year, which is a phenomenal accomplishment. And, the rest of the offense benefits greatly from him being out there.
Well, Coach, continued health and success for you and the team. Moving into conference tournament play tomorrow. We'll be watching. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is not Dana White. That's Casey Alexander hanging out with us on 104.5 The Zone from Arch Madness, one of the best conference tournament names in all of college basketball.
I mean, that is such a challenge just to have that mindset after one of the best, probably the best regular season at the D1 level in Belmont history at this level in the Missouri Valley Conference. But to know that if we don't win our next 3 games, it doesn't matter. We're not going to the tournament. And maybe Miami of Ohio is dealing with something similar as they sit here undefeated, but there's been a lot of reporting done on Miami of Ohio trying to schedule power conference opponents that just will not play them. Casey Alexander has talked in the past about having trouble scheduling power conference opponents that will raise that strength of schedule. Is it just recency bias, or are mid-major teams having a harder time cracking the at-large conversation in the NCAA tournament?
I'd say they're having a harder time. I'd say that the path for them has been made infinitely more difficult by the fact that you've got bigger programs who, really there is no benefit to them from playing those games.
But I think one of the calling cards of a Casey Anthony team to
Casey Alexander.
Casey Alexander. Did I say Casey Anthony?
My goodness.
How does that even happen?
Of all the Caseys
I thought that was your joke.
in the history of the world,
He got in my ear and said,
No.
I have a joke to take us to break. Get out of the way.
Casey Alexander teams play like their hair's on fire.
Go to break.
It is 11 o'clock. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica, and there is breaking news in the NFL. Adam Schefter reporting that DJ Moore is being traded to the Buffalo Bills from Chicago. No trade compensation is official quite yet. In other NFL news, the Patriots are set to release wide receiver Stefon Diggs. According to ESPN, the 32-year-old signed a 3-year, $69 million deal last year and had a 1,000-yard season during New England's run to the Super Bowl. The Nashville Predators have made another trade this week, sending defenseman Nick Blankenburg to Colorado in exchange for a 2027 fifth. It is the third move of the week for the Preds, with the trade deadline coming up tomorrow in the NHL. Nashville back in action tonight at Bridgestone Arena, hosting the Boston Bruins with a 7 p.m. puck drop. College hoops, the Lady Vols SEC tournament journey begins tonight, taking on Alabama in Greenville. 7:30 is the tip-off. Tennessee looking to end a 6-game skid that ended the regular season. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So as Lucas said, we did get a little bit of breaking news in the end of the last commercial break, and we wanted to talk to Casey, so we said we'd circle back around for this. The Bears, according to Adam Schefter, who was first on it, are working to finalize a trade that would send DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills. Now, this as of 18 minutes ago, when this tweet first went out, says compensation is still being discussed, and the trade cannot be processed until the new league year begins. But both sides are pushing to make it happen. So there's a reality where this doesn't get done, but it seems like everybody involved wants as much of it done as humanly possible because the Bears are trying to clear cap space for something, it seems. I haven't looked at the Bears roster in a while, or I don't know, at any point since we did playoff versions of the install to know who might be due a contract in Chicago, because DJ Moore was taking up, I don't know, what was it, $24 million in cap?
And they've got a young wide receiver group with Rome Odunze and Luther Burden.
And I know people kind of dogged DJ Moore at the end of it because there was a question about was he giving full effort on one of those late completions the late interception that Caleb Williams ended up throwing that allowed the Rams to advance to the NFC Championship game. DJ Moore on aggregate has been a good player. I don't think it's a work ethic thing.
I mean, that touchdown pass to DJ Moore against the Packers in OT.
Sick.
I mean, one of the best games. Bears played in some crazy games in 2025.
Yes.
But his production did drop off.
It's probably exacerbated by the fact that they have Rome Odunze in year 3. He took a big leap forward last year, and they also drafted Luther Burden in the second round, who kind of came on at the end of the year, and then the tight end they took 10 overall. So they have 3 offensive weapons that are in their rookie contract that are kind of blowing up. You can move a guy who has a $25 million plus cap hit.
But Bills fans got to be like, they should be excited about this. He's immediately the best receiver in the room. But,
pending compensation.
Yeah, we don't know the compensation yet. But just it should be exciting to have Josh Allen throwing the football to DJ Moore, given who he was throwing the football to last year. He's immediately the best receiver on the roster. But
yes.
Bills fans got to be like, what is it going to take for us to be able to draft and develop a quality high-end receiver in the Josh Allen era?
Relatable. It's the plight of the Titans as well. The constant chase for a wide receiver, and then not to relitigate the A.J. Brown trauma, but it does add an interesting wrinkle. Would this take Buffalo out of the A.J. Brown? If there were any A.J. Brown sweepstakes to be had, this would immediately take Buffalo off the table there.
You would think so, unless they just want to collect the Monstars in the wide receiver room.
Well, the question is, like, how healthy is AJ and how motivated is AJ, and how much more can you get out of him in a situation that may not be ideal? Like, his best possible scenario, his side of any potential trade that would go down would be who? It would be the Patriots. It would make all the sense in the world for him to go back to a coach who he knows, who he trusts, who he has a productive working relationship that knows how to manage him, especially because they just cut or informed Stefon Diggs that he would be released yesterday. So they are, again, in the market for a top receiver option. And I don't know what they might get at 31, where they're slated to pick in the first round. That's going to be a situation worth monitoring. It also begs the question of Alec Pierce. Did you see the clip of Alec Pierce making the rounds with Kay Adams? Her show, Up and Adams.
Yeah.
On the FanDuel Sports Network, where Titans fans were very quick to point out that he had a smile on his face when he was asked about the potential of playing with Cam Ward. It's almost like a different version of Combine interviews where a bunch of random media people are asking, Did you meet with the Saints? What would it be like to play with Chris Olave? Asking a player that kind of a question. But it does make the wide receiver market more interesting because theoretically this would put Buffalo in a situation, again, pending on what the compensation is. Robert thinks that Keon Coleman might be involved in the deal.
No one would be too surprised.
Well, no one would be too surprised to see him moved, right? They seem over the entire Keon Coleman experience.
Yeah.
Oh, no. If you listen to him, the report last week is, we love that guy. We're not planning on moving him. He's a part of this team. And even though he's overslept and he slept in meetings and he wasn't necessarily attentive and maybe sometimes he was distracted on offense, maybe sometimes he was a little perturbed about his usage, maybe he didn't get as many snaps as he thought he wanted and it affected his performance. Maybe he didn't flush when he went number 2, but we still like that guy. And we definitely don't want to move off of him unless we could use him in a package to get DJ Moore.
He's also got that agent that Jeff Simmons had before he hired Todd France, because Jeff Simmons wants mega money, and Todd France is one of the super agents in the business. I wonder, I'd just be curious to know what kind of advice Keon Coleman is getting in a lot of these situations as well.
Also, Joe Brady, DJ Moore's offensive coordinator in Carolina for 2 years. So they reunite in Buffalo.
So, how does this impact, what's the domino effect on a team like the Titans that will probably be dipping a toe next week into wide receiver free agency? The question is, do we think they need to be at the top of this wide receiver free agent market? Because right now that looks like Alec Pierce. And that feels like they're all quarterback dependent situations, right? But he is a very specific kind of a player with very specific usage, or the best version of him comes with a very specific usage, where he's been, as we've talked about before, by the numbers, the best deep threat in the NFL the last 2 seasons.
I'm having a hard time with the Alec Pierce thing.
In what sense?
I'm starting to worry that whoever signs Alec Pierce, if he doesn't just stay in Indianapolis, is bringing him on to be something that he has never been.
That happens a lot in free agency.
Yeah. And to me, that, I don't know, there's like a slight red flag in that.
Sure.
It feels like a risky proposition. Do we have this audio, Robert, of Alec Pierce talking about the type of role he expects to play with a big-time contract as a free agent this offseason?
47 for over 1,000. Not a one-hit wonder. I do want to point out to any teams that might be watching, any clips that I might be sending to said GMs over the next week, you've done this the past 2 seasons, and that to me adds up to a wide receiver 1. And there's a lot of wide receivers out there that do want that label. How important is you to be a primary target? Can you be that guy, and why?
Yeah, no, I think this is something I definitely believe I can do, and I think it's something I haven't really had the chance to do. I think you can look at the numbers, the targets I've had the past few years. I know you said earlier when you're talking with Isaiah that you're not a math girl, but I am a math guy myself. And you said extrapolate, and I was like, you can extrapolate my targets. If you give me targets that
let's go. How many targets can I get? Cal, can you tell me how many targets? You know. I know you know, Alec. How many targets?
It was like 80 something. So
yeah.
I think I'm there's not very
84.
many receivers that have got 1,000 yards and under 100 targets, and I had 84. So
let's go. I love this.
I think you take those numbers, and what's like a receiver 1 get targets wise, like 130, 150, something like that. Yeah,
average, I guess.
You basically double my targets. I'm setting the record right there. So
we're saying we're going to have a 2,000 yard season. Is that what you're?
I mean that's what the math says, but Now, obviously, it doesn't work completely like that, but
Yeah, you're Calvin Johnson. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, enough.
You weren't enjoying the flirt fest? Tell us more, you big burly man.
Listen, that's not nice.
You're so cute.
Kay Adams is very successful, but I will say that no two combination of human beings in our industry have the ability to make their interview subjects melt and say things out of character more than Kay Adams and Taylor Rooks. Did you see this clip of Steve Nash breakdancing?
God. Just
Steve, make it a little less obvious, brother.
my dancing
I'm more mad at people like Steve Nash than I am Taylor Rooks or Kay Adams. Let Kay Adams alone. Let Taylor Rooks alone. Let them do their jobs. But the Calvin Johnson thing was a little much for me, okay?
Who was the ugly dude that Kay Adams was interviewing the other day? And it was like, it was the first person that's ever seemed like she's been repulsed to interview. Like she seemed like away from, you know how usually she's like head in hand and kind of like talking on the phone, flipping her ankles behind her, like on the bed with the phone connected to the cord. Oh, it was who's all hands 81. Torrey Holt. When she was interviewing Torrey Holt, there was none of this.
All professional, baby.
It was super professional. She is not interested in that 70-year-old man. He's not 70, but it just funny to me the different tinges depending on who she's interviewing.
It's not very nice what you're doing.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm not lying. I'm not fabricating something or making it up. It is tangible.
Alec Pierce had 84 targets, like he said last year. He had 69 targets the year before that, 65 targets the year before that. I don't know. I feel weird about paying that big money to a guy to come in and get 130, 140 targets for the first time in his career because he does a very specific thing, and he has been elite at it in the last 2 years in the NFL. But why has he been so good? Why have the Colts been able to take advantage of Alec Pierce as a deep threat while throwing the ball more often to Michael Pittman and to Tyler Warren and having Jonathan Taylor in the backfield for teams to account for?
The Colts have an embarrassment of riches. There's that promo of Ramon and Will talking about champagne problems, having champagne problems. The Colts offense has champagne problems, yeah? I mean, outside of the quarterback situation, I might have leveled out a little bit. I am in agreement with you because if for no other reason than I just watched them do this with Calvin. I just watched them do this with Calvin Ridley, okay? And my thing with Calvin Ridley's contract was always, no, that's not wide receiver 1 money. That's the top tier of wide receiver 2. That was always the position that I took with the contract, and it made it more palatable to me. But the problem was they never found the wide receiver 1 while Calvin was their wide receiver 2. So then all of a sudden, Calvin Ridley is being asked to be something that he has not been overwhelmingly successful with in his NFL career, because the best version of Calvin Ridley was not just younger Calvin Ridley, pre-gambling suspension Calvin Ridley. It was Calvin Ridley with Julio Damn Jones. And who was the third receiver on that team or those teams? Harry Douglas was gone by then. I can't remember. I feel like they had a decent third option either way.
Give me your guesses, and I will find out for you.
Oh, I couldn't even guess. I really couldn't.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I would have. I'm going back like I'm mixing Harry Douglas and Roddy White up with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley.
What was his rookie year, Calvin's? Would it have been
2017?
No, he
18.
was. Yeah, because he played for Alabama during that Brian Dable year.
And that was his junior year, so he came out in 18.
I'll give you a hint. He was traded to the Patriots for a second-round pick.
Oh, I just saw it in the chat, Mohamed Sanu. Which is crazy that guy got traded for a second-round pick to the Pats.
That was when I started to realize that Bill was losing it. But for what it's worth, Mohamed Sanu, probably the best quarterback rating of a non-quarterback of all time. I got to look up his stats now. Hold on.
Casey who?
So
615.
So are we in or out on Alec Pierce getting a big-time deal to come in and be a wide receiver 1?
Here, out. No, thank you.
I think I agree.
I'm all set on that. You're literally already trying to work out from the one that you have.
Oh, my God.
Just feels like a big gamble.
What are you giggling about?
Mohamed Sanu threw 8 passes in his career, 7 of which were completed for 233 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Hell yeah.
Dang.
That is a quarterback rating. What is his QBR for? Oh, they don't have. Oh, my God. Someone needs to fix this. His rating. Okay, I found it. He has a perfect passer rating of 158.3 over his career. Mohamed Sanu in the Hall of Fame, best non-quarterback.
Put him in over Eli.
Yeah.
Cameron is in Kentucky.
What's up, fellas?
Yo.
Hey, I've just got this thought that there is no way in hell that they're actually thinking about drafting Jeremiah Love.
Why?
Now, don't get me wrong. When I think about him, think about drafting this guy. It gets me excited. He's probably the best athlete in this draft, but man, I don't see it. I feel like this is a case of Borgonzi and everybody else calling these, like you said, they'll call and talk to Schefter and all these guys and put it out there. And I think it's just a target to try to get these guys that are in like the, 10 to 15 range in the draft to be like, I guess, scared that they're going to miss out on getting him, because at first it's all been talk about edge and everything else. And I just feel like they're trying to get somebody to trade up to where we could still drop a little bit in the draft and pick up Reuben Bain. And that's just the way I feel about it. I'll hang up listening to you guys.
Ooh, right at a minute. Well done, Cameron. All right. So do we think he's accusing Mike Borgonzi of gaslighting?
Well done. Well done.
Did you do that simultaneously?
I'm like an octopus back here.
I was getting louder and louder. I was like, do I have like a glitch in my headsets? What's going on?
Look,
It's not very nice.
I'm down. I'm down for that approach. If the Jeremiah Love thing is all a ruse to bait somebody to come up to 4 and take the best player in the draft.
Did you see Borgonzi with McAfee, though? The same week on the combine? Talking about like the generational talent bit that got everybody all hot and bothered last year, which wasn't even him, by the way. It was Brinker. Like Brinker gave an interview to Jimmy while we were all at owners' meetings talking about generational talent. And then
I thought that was a press conference when Chad said that in a press conference. We're not going to pass on a generational talent.
No, that was a piece. You can go back and look at Titans.com just to confirm, but I'm almost 99.5% positive that was done at owners' meetings with Chad Brinker in a Jim Wyatt piece. Now, maybe Jimmy, I don't think we're allowed to do video.
No, it was at Borgonzi's introductory presser. I mean, he might have said it to Jim as well.
So the generational talent thing, and he was asked about that on McAfee this year, and he said, yeah, people just pick up whatever they want and take and run with it however they want. We're not trying to gaslight anybody. And maybe you think that's just something that you say. Again, there's all kind of tactics that can be deployed here, right? He told that story about Brian Dable coming up to him at Starbucks and trying to gaslight him into drafting another player, not Cam Ward at number 1, so the Giants could try and get Cam. You always leave the door open for that to be a possibility. I think that they are genuinely interested in him as an option. Is he the primary option? Is he the top option at number 4 overall? We couldn't possibly know that, but he is definitively an option for them.
But it is the genuine interest that could draw a team to submit a proposal to get up to 4.
Sure. How far back would you be comfortable with them trading?
Ooh, maybe a conversation for another day.
Well, what do we have coming up next?
AFC South offseason storylines.
Would you rather talk about that or Titans trade hypotheticals? I know, buddy. You're just waiting for your lunch.
I'm just waiting for this chicken sandwich to get here.
Next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. So, looking at some of the scenarios, we worked through a hypothetical yesterday, right, where Robert pulled up the Jimmy Johnson point system, the point valuation for draft picks and what it costs via that point valuation to move around in the NFL draft. Chiefs now with 9 and 29. Their value not enough, or just slightly above, rather, what it is that the Titans pick at number 4 overall would be valued at according to the Jimmy Johnson trade chart. Now, teams don't explicitly use that. There are some variations depending on which organization that you work for. And it's going to cost you more to come up, especially from 9 to 4 or 29 to 4. So you are going to give up a little bit more on that point side of things if you are the team who's trying to move up in the order. But that also requires a team willing to move up in the order. How comfortable would you be with the Titans trading back, or how far back would you be comfortable with the Titans trading back as a Titans fan? Because I feel like the vast majority of feedback that I feel like I'm getting right now is that people just want to draft a good football player with the 4th overall pick. Whether he becomes a difference maker in year 1 or year 3, whatever that looks like, just stack good football players. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, that's where I am. Just give yourself as many swings as possible. The Titans pick at 35. I do kind of love the idea. We talked yesterday about the Trent McDuffie trade, and okay, now here's Kansas City with that extra first-round draft pick that they just got from L.A., and the Chiefs also have the number 9 overall pick. Could they be a candidate to move up for a player like Love at 4? And that hypothetical of the Titans trading back to 9 and getting the Chiefs pick that they just got from the Rams in that package, and the hypothetical of the Titans having 9, 29, and 35, 3 picks in the top 35 of this draft, incredibly enticing to me. Now, that's just a hypothetical we made up in our brain after the Chiefs got an extra first-round pick from L.A.
The more likely scenario is that the Chiefs just try to regenerate their roster organically and take 2 players.
But I want swings, man.
Even if it costs you
a top 15 pick?
Well, no, one of the blue chip players, because there's not this draft cup does not runneth over with blue chip quality talent, with players who would genuinely garner a first round valuation. Just because there are 32 first round picks, they are not all first round players.
Right. Where does that stop? Where do the blue chippers end?
I mean, okay, is Mendoza a blue chip player?
Let's put quarterback aside.
All right, that's fine.
We understand that's a different draft in and of itself. Arvell Reese is a blue chip premium player at the top of the draft. Jeremiah Love.
2.
100%. What about Bailey or Bain?
No. Styles over both of them.
So Styles projects better as a linebacker than either of them do as edge rushers.
Styles projects at everything better than they projected edge rusher based on his athletic testing. And again, I know that's not football player, but
yeah, I have a hard time with that. With the based on his athletic testing was great, but like let's just talk about the football
flaws here. Okay, there are more flaws with the other two that there is a precedent for there being an uphill battle for Bailey or Bain than there are for Sonny Styles at their respective positions.
Yeah. This is also a almost an impossible conversation, right, to talk about. To say only these guys are blue chip players would be to say these guys are going to be the best NFL players out of this draft, which we have no earthly idea about.
Well, and it still doesn't even like are you the best player out of a draft class because you went to a better spot and were able to succeed, or are you a player who could thrive in nearly every situation, but you land on one of these crappy teams at the top of the order and your career goes nowhere? Like, are you Miles Garrett is obviously excellent for a number of reasons, but his career is going to I don't want to say his career is going to amount to nothing because he has the NFL sack record, but like he's done no winning of consequence.
But in a draft where it feels like there is a premium, where there are less of those blue chip players, I am good with this being a collect capital draft and just collect depth. Try to find as many good players as you can rather than putting the chips in on one of the, 4 or 5 players that are considered to be quote unquote blue chip.
Mike on YouTube says the offense needs difference makers. He's falling into our lap.
Talking about
Jeremiah Love.
Okay.
I understand that portion of the argument. I'm not necessarily against that argument. And again, none of it matters if you don't have a trade partner that's willing to come up. We have no idea who will, or really what even people would be trying to come up for other than Jeremiah Love. Because once you start to get into additional draft capital, then he does become more of, you're giving up what to get a running back as opposed to you're giving up what to get Jeremiah Love. And I know that's probably nitpicking the argument a little bit, but it does become a greater part of the argument.
Doesn't it feel like we have hardly talked about these wide receivers as it pertains to the Titans?
Given how badly they need one?
Yeah. Mina Kimes came on, and that was one of the first things she said. They got to go get a wide receiver. She loves this wide receiver class, the top of this wide receiver class. But I feel like we've hardly talked about it. We've talked about it in the context of edge rusher and Jeremiah Love almost exclusively.
Well, and Brugler said the same thing, but then mocked Jeremiah Love to the Titans.
Yeah, and then he mocked Carnell Tate as the first receiver off the board at 8 to New Orleans.
So again, how far back are you willing to go if you are willing to fall back, if you are able to get somebody who wants to come up? Because if you trade back to 9, but Carnell Tate's gone at 8, and then you're out Tate and Love, did you play yourself a little bit? Right? It's a fun hypothetical that has so many different ways that you could go. But I do struggle with the trade back thing. If the thing that you want is there, then just take the thing that you want and fill out the rest of it. Be the Rams and do the bulk of your legwork on day 3. I know that's easier said than done, but still.
I feel like I am a little drawn to Carnell Tate, not just because he's a good player and is a guy that, can win at all 3 levels.
And you need one.
And you desperately need one. But it did kind of dawn on me. I was talking about this with someone last night. Carnell Tate is the last of the Brian Hartline developed receivers at Ohio State. Hartline's the head coach at USF now. So that long chain of receivers, whether we're talking about Chris Olave or JSN or
Jeremiah Smith.
Mecca Egbuka. True, Jeremiah Smith is going to be the number 1 receiver off the board. But Carnell Tate is one of the last to come from that developmental line that Brian Hartline put together at Ohio State. And pretty much all of those have worked out here in the last however many years Hartline has. Did he coach Michael Thomas at Ohio State? I'm not sure if he was there that long. He's in his 30s.
Hartline was still in the league.
Hartline was playing, for the Browns in 2015, So he came on to Ohio State staff. First year as wide receivers coach was 2018.
Just quickly, Robert, we do have compensation now on DJ Moore.
That is correct. The Bills are sending a 2026 second-round pick to the Bears for wide receiver DJ Moore and a 2026 fifth-round pick. So it is a 5-2 swap for DJ Moore.
He's expensive. He's almost 30, and he's still netted a second and a fifth this year.
A late second, but a second nonetheless.
So Keon Coleman stays in Buffalo.
Also, what does that mean that AJ costs?
What was the reporting earlier this week? There was another trade that was brought up that Patriots are looking for this kind of compensation. I can't remember what it was.
You mean Eagles?
The Eagles, sorry.
Your pre-Freudian slip.
Yeah. Aren't they around the same age? Isn't AJ also 28, 29?
AJ's definitely closer to 29 if he's not already 29.
They're probably only like 6 or 7 months separated from each other.
And
AJ is going to be 29 in June.
Okay. And DJ Moore's birthday?
April.
A little less than 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Shame on both of you. The FM radio audience has no idea what just happened, but I do. Anyway, I think that the A.J. Brown situation, it's so much more likely that he ends up staying in Philadelphia, right? I just don't think they're going to get that value for him.
Oh, what was the reporting on the kind of compensation they're seeking?
I didn't see it. I think I saw like a Pro Football Talk situation say at least a first-round pick.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be blockbuster.
Anyway.
Where did the term blockbuster come from? Obviously
the movie
movies,
chain?
but what does it mean?
Yeah, like what blocks are you busting?
Well, maybe it's like a bomb, like a block-busting bomb. That's kind of a dark place to take things.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Nailed it.
1940s, denoting a huge aerial bomb capable of destroying a whole block of streets. Oh, my God.
We're using war terminology to talk about NFL trades.
Like that's a word, that's a term for success in the movie industry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what else it could be. What else would bust a block? I don't know, a bomb?
So the term came about in the 1940s, and the usage only rose starting in the 1970s to start talking about movies.
Okay.
So now you know. The more you know.
So why is it used to talk about trades?
Well, it's not specifically to talk about trades, but you talk about anything of a giant consequence or a bigger, an explosive nature.
Yeah.
Being a blockbuster.
Man, that's dark.
I mean, that's
so many people died.
But it was a great movie.
Yeah, saw it in IMAX.
All right, very good.
Okay.
Somebody said all NFL metaphors are war metaphors. Yeah, I know, but blockbuster gets tossed around very casually.
Oh, Quinnen Williams type deal. That's what Garofolo reported that's what the Eagles are looking for.
Which
for
was?
A.J. Brown. Let me pull up the Quinnen Williams
Okay,
trade.
while you do that, Robert, what do you have?
So 1950s usage, common to the mid-1950s to describe a massive, high-budget, widescreen historic epics designed to lure in viewers back from television. Ben-Hur is cited for 1959, long-ass movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen Ben-Hur. But
I think it's like that, and is it Arabian Nights that's the other, like, 6-hour
Lawrence
movie?
of Arabia.
Lawrence of Arabia.
And Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind is also an epic.
My mom tried to get me to watch Gone with the Wind when I was in, like, second grade, and when the horse dies of exhaustion, I was like, I can't watch this.
It's a great movie.
It's too much.
Okay, for modern definitions, Jaws in 1975 is widely credited as the first modern summer blockbuster because it revolutionized marketing with nationwide high-volume TV advertising.
Quinnen Williams was dealt to Dallas from New York in exchange for a defensive tackle, a second-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, and a conditional first-round pick, whichever was higher between Cowboys or Packers, because that involves the Micah Parsons trade in the 2027 NFL Draft.
Somebody on the YouTube chat says, my ex is blockbusting right now. I don't even know what that means, but it makes me laugh.
So a player, a second, and a first, basically, was the Quinnen Williams deal.
No chance in hell.
That the Patriots would give up a first, a second, and who would be Mozzie
Who's
Smith?
running the show? I think it's two different answers. If it's Vrabel.
Who's the Patriots wide receiver equivalent of Mozzie Smith, who was part of that Quinnen Williams trade?
Christian Barmore. They tried to move him at the deadline last year anyway.
Wasn't that Mozzie Smith guy a first-round pick too out of Michigan?
He was. Micah Parsons was ecstatic about it until he found out he was
Barmore
just fat.
was a first?
Who?
Barmore was a first-round pick too?
I think Barmore was a second-round pick, but I would have to double-check.
What's his medical situation?
I'm saying who would the wide receiver equivalent be in
Pop
New
Douglas?
England?
Yeah. I just say it's super risky, man. Giving up two high-quality picks for a guy like that may – I mean, wide receiver is the most polarizing position that could fall off a cliff like that besides maybe corner.
Corner to me is the top of wide receivers right there. And the other part of this is every time we talked to Solak about this, and I asked Solak, who's an Eagles fan, Ben Solak, who's at ESPN, he's a diehard Eagles fan, who was ecstatic when they traded for A.J. Brown, and is perfectly fine with them moving off of A.J. Brown, not just because A.J. wasn't giving full effort in that situation last year, but because A.J. might not be healthy.
Well, speaking of polarizing wide receiver deals, a certain polarizing wide receiver is about to hit free agency and has a certain tie to the Tennessee Titans.
Next.
So as the countdown continues
Just
for
run right through the drop. My God.
the start of the new league year.
Jesus. He's just trying to get through this segment so he can eat his chicken sandwich.
Do you not know the words?
No. He doesn't.
I came back to let you know.
Don't grift. Let him sing.
Got a thing for you, and I can't let go.
Are we doing this karaoke night with
Patriot.
3HL or not?
We're working on it.
Is that a thing that's happening?
Yes.
We are working on it.
They were going to do it without us, and then I just happened to be in the car one day when 3HL was on. I turned it on. I heard them talking about it.
I'll crash it.
Hell yes.
No, I think we would all be there. I think we would all be prominently featured with 2-song minimums.
Is there a situation where we do a song together?
Yeah, the three of us. What's the best, do like an ABBA song?
Oh, Fernando.
Try to harmonize?
No, we're not doing Fernando.
We're not
Come
doing-
on.
We're not.
But it takes all of the prolific duets out of the picture, where it's like we
Yeah.
couldn't do Islands in the Stream,
Right.
we couldn't do Photograph. I think we're all much better solo acts than we are as a group.
That sounds like you don't want to do a song with us.
I want to shine. I'm my generation's songbird. Let
You're
me
a
fly.
peacock.
Yes, let me spread my wings.
The Patriots have informed wide receiver Stefon Diggs that he will be released at the start of the 2026 league year, which is next Wednesday. His salary cap charge was going to rise from $10.5 million to $26.5 million, which reportedly, according to ESPN, was a big catalyst for the move. They signed Stefon Diggs on a 3-year, $69 million deal last year. He ended up being pretty productive, was healthy, was available, 1,000-yard season, helped them on their run to the Super Bowl, had big performances and big wins like at the Buffalo Bills during the regular season.
I just realized what the connection is.
Yeah. So I posed that he has a tie to Tennessee. Book's like, no, he doesn't. What tie does he have to Tennessee?
Cardi B doesn't live here.
Well, that's over, right?
Yeah, famously. He lost the Super Bowl. He lost his girl. He lost his job. He may lose his freedom.
She'll be back.
But yes, it finally clicked for you that his most productive season as an NFL player was with Brian Daboll calling the plays in Buffalo, where in 2020, Stefon Diggs caught, 2020. At this point, that's a good 6 years ago, you guys. 1,535 yards and 8 touchdowns. It was a career high in yards, a career high in receptions with 127, a career high in targets at 166. Daboll was his OC again in 2021, where he was
but isn't
a
he
very
going to
productive
jail?
player.
Before we do all of this, isn't
We
he
don't know
going to
that.
jail? Every time I see something about Stefon Diggs, it's like the long arm of the law is about to take him in.
Yes.
What are we doing here?
Yes, there is a messy legal situation that he is currently sorting through.
I shouldn't joke about it. The details are not laughing matter. But, come on.
Would you like the Google AI
No.
verdict? Let's do that.
Verdict.
As of March 2026, Stefon Diggs is not in jail, but he is facing serious legal charges, including felony strangulation and misdemeanor assault stemming from an alleged incident with his private chef in December of 2027. He pleaded not guilty on
25.
February 13th.
2027 hasn't happened yet.
2025. He was released without bail and is scheduled for a pretrial hearing on April 1st.
AI out here predicting the future.
Google AI is crazy. It's so bad.
I just read it incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
I'm just an
I
idiot.
would believe that Google AI would say it happened in 2027. But
What the
yes.
hell are you going to do with Stefon Diggs at this point in his career other than hate him? If you sign that man, Titans fans are going to hate him.
So after the alleged assault, which stemmed from a pay dispute with his personal chef, the victim claimed she terminated her employment with Diggs, left his residence where she had been staying, and then on December 9th, 2025, she returned to retrieve property. When she asked about her overdue wages, he referred to his personal assistant who told her she had to sign an NDA to get paid. She refused to sign. She filed a police report. She made the allegations. His lawyer has categorically denied these allegations, and he is was scheduled for an arraignment that was going to be 2 days before the AFC Championship, but was postponed to 5 days after the Super Bowl. And on that day, on February 13th, 2026, Diggs would be arraigned at Dedham District Court in Dedham, Massachusetts, entering a plea of not guilty to felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery charges. He's scheduled to return to court April 1st for a pre-trial hearing. So it is a serious situation around Stefon Diggs.
If he is convicted of the felony charge, it carries a potential sentence of up to 5 years in prison. Would you rather him?
So this is all.
What are you? No. What are you going to ask me?
Okay. Would you rather not sign Trayvon Diggs or?
What is going on with you back there?
Would you rather
Casey Anthony, the head coach of the Belmont Bruins,
famously? Would you rather sign Stefon Diggs and have to sign his brother Trayvon Diggs as well,
who's not good right now,
or not sign Stefon Diggs?
I don't want to deal with it.
He has to go to one of the graveyards. He either has to go to Baltimore or Tennessee. It is the end of his career.
The wide receiver graveyard? Oh,
he has to go to one of those two places.
No.
Let's say this is only in the event of Stefon Diggs is exonerated and totally cleared of these charges.
Okay.
He is 32 years old, and he turns 33 in late November. Coming off a 1,000-yard season after the ACL tear.
No, I still don't want him.
Him and Snead would be so great at training camp, though, if they don't get rid of him. Those fights would be legendary.
They don't practice.
That's okay. They can still argue on the bikes. They don't even have to practice. Just have them argue at each.
There's a shouting match on
You know I'd lock you up. Yeah, if I was healthy, I'd dust you.
Ricky says he is not conducive to the culture we are trying to build here.
Oh, listen. Okay, let's not pearl clutch, all right? If Stefon Diggs was still a good football player, if Tyreek Hill was still a good football player, Titans fans would be butt naked, drunk in the streets trying to sign him, all right? Let's not pearl clutch about the morality of football. There are plenty of bad people who are good football players who I know the vast majority of you would overlook any red flags around them if they could get you an extra 6 or 7 touchdowns a year.
Oh, yeah. 6-7.
I did that just for you. So, I'm not interested in your arguments about your morality clauses, okay? Because you're full of it. If that's the leg that you're standing on. You don't want him here because he's a problem, and also he's not good anymore. He made a couple of plays in the Super Bowl, and that was it. 615-737-1045 is the number.
From an ACL in his 30s and have a 1,000-yard season last year.
Okay, now go ahead and continue to give that guy contracts and see how that ages.
Yeah, you're not talking about bringing him in here on a 3 or 4 year deal, right? Like he is at that stage in his career.
I'm talking about bringing him in here on any kind of a deal.
He's at that stage of his career where, like that DeAndre Hopkins stage, where he's signing like 1 year deals, right, from here on out. You would think.
I'm set. No thanks.
From a pure football standpoint, I don't think I'd hate it.
Okay.
But yes, there is an ugly situation around it.
Larry in Nashville is next.
Hey, guys, I've got your karaoke song, Oak Ridge Boys by Elvira. And, Buck, you got to do the Mbappa Mau Mau.
Mbappa Mau Mau. Ooh, I could do that.
I'm down. Great suggestion, Larry.
Thank you for the call.
Oh, we could do Man of Constant Sorrow.
Oh,
it's a great 3-man.
That would be good.
we could take turns on the verses.
Oh, I think that would slap.
That's the one.
Oh, which is the best verse, though? I feel like Robert would try and fight us for the best verse.
No. I'll shine wherever you put me at.
All right. So, Lucas wants Diggs.
No, I wouldn't. I know.
That's what you just said.
If we're just strictly talking about it from a football standpoint, I don't want Stefon Diggs if he's out here getting, convicted for strangulation.
Okay.
You can't straddle the middle. Buck was like, don't pearl clutch. And Lucas like, okay, if he's exonerated. Oh, no, don't do that. Like, what? Okay, where do you want us to be? Do you want us to live in a nominal state of being?
Forgive me
he's not good at football anymore.
Forgive me for wanting the legal process to play out before I figure out if I want this player.
Oh.
But the legal process plays out after free agency really gets wrong. So what do you do here?
Oh, he ain't signing quick. He's signing the same time Rodgers does.
He's signing in July.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to do training camp. Are you kidding me? When did he sign with the Patriots? That was pretty late in the game, wasn't it? Anyway.
And he did give them headaches other than just, remember.
Why don't you figure out what to do with Snead before you add, another problem element to your locker room, please?
He signed in March with the Patriots.
Okay. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to jump in, we would be happy to have your participation. Robert has found an ideal Will Levis trade scenario with a team that you might not expect. We'll tell you what's going on with that coming up next. Bow, bow.
We are seconds away from 12 o'clock. Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. Breaking NFL news today. The Buffalo Bills have traded for Chicago Bears wide receiver DJ Moore. In the deal, according to Adam Schefter, Buffalo gets DJ Moore and a 2026 fifth-round pick. The Bears get a 2026 second-rounder in exchange. Adam Schefter also reporting that 8-time Pro Bowl defensive end Cameron Jordan, who has spent his entire 15-year career in New Orleans and had a double-digit sack season last year, will not have a new deal in place with New Orleans by next week and will hit free agency for the first time in his NFL career. Cam Jordan will be 37 when Week 1 rolls around in the 2026 season. The Nashville Predators made another trade, sending defenseman Nick Blankenburg to Colorado yesterday in exchange for a 2027 fifth-rounder. It is the third trade of the week for Nashville, with the deadline coming up tomorrow in the NHL. The Preds are in action tonight at Bridgestone Arena, hosting the Boston Bruins with a 7 p.m. puck drop. And the Lady Vols SEC tournament run begins tonight against Alabama in Greenville. 7:30 the tip-off. Tennessee ended the regular season on a 6-game losing skid. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So teams are doing deals, acquiring players, acquiring picks. Teams are moving on from players, or rather informing players that they will soon move on from them at the start of the new league year. The latest reporting on that is Cam Jordan, the longtime New Orleans Saints edge defensive end. He is going to be allowed to test the market. Now, could he end up back in New Orleans after he goes and explores his value elsewhere in the NFL after having spent his entire career with the Saints to date? A very successful and continuing to be productive career. I saw that news during the commercial break, and I immediately looked at Robert Walsh, who is a noted Ravens fan, and I said, Raven. That guy is a Raven.
The ravenest Raven to ever Raven. Cam Jordan, Saints fans would be livid to hear me say that.
They do it with, well, it's like calling Derrick Henry the ravenest Raven to ever Raven.
Well, no, but you're doing a thing because he's an aging pass rusher.
Yes.
And they're really good at finding those dudes.
Justin Houston, Kyle Van Noy. How many other ones?
Clowney had a career year.
Exceptional year.
Clowney, I think, was still technically under 30. Wasn't he by the time he got to the Ravens?
Don't care. He was looking very healthy.
Oh, man.
What must that be like?
Calais Campbell.
Yeah. I mean, Cam Jordan, Calais Campbell levels of career longevity and production at the age of 36.
That's gross. At that position, the violence of that position, what it does to your body, no way.
He has never. When did the NFL go to 17? Was it the 21 season or 22 season?
I want to say it was 21.
I think it was 21.
What are you eating?
It's a Peruvian chicken sandwich.
Who, me?
Robert rebuffed the tostones that I ordered as a part of this order.
Like crappy potatoes.
Oh.
The chicken sandwich looks delightful.
Oh, it's exceptional. But those little flat, fake potatoes.
They're plantains.
Do you guys not believe in seasoning? I mean, every time you talk about caustic cuisine.
Salty and crispy.
They're not salty. They taste like, Buck, go eat one of those things.
Okay.
Here, no, just don't eat a whole one.
Wait,
don't eat a whole one. What do you mean? They're not that good.
I want the sauce. Don't throw that at me. I want the sauce. I'm going to do it myself. Talk. I'm going to eat.
If you're unfamiliar,
I'm going to show you what it's like to do a show.
Right, I ripped off a little bit piece there for you. You can have that little bitty one right there.
What is a yucca? Can you explain to people what a... Oh, no, it's not yucca. It's plantain.
This is plantain. I almost got the fried yucca, but you would have poo-pooed that too.
No,
it would have made me
what
even
you
angrier.
ordered was yucca. You should have gotten yucca. It would have been better than that.
Cam Jordan has missed one game in his NFL career. One game. In 2022, he played in 16 games and not 17. And honestly, I don't remember the context of it, but he missed one game since 2011, his first year in the league. That's unfathomable levels of availability and longevity. We're talking about 15 years in the NFL. He turns 37 this summer. What's the verdict on the tostone?
He got sauce. I didn't get sauce neither.
You wouldn't like the sauce.
Why?
Because the sauce does not help the fact that this tastes like I imagine paint chips taste like.
Oh, my God. I hate you guys.
Dude, look, I can eat stuff. I can eat anything and like it. And it's just a bland potato,
That has no
dude.
flavor at all.
At all. Zero.
And I put the sauce on it. And the sauce is fine. The sauce just tastes like, off-brand cane sauce.
I love plantains.
Quit shoving your beliefs on us, dude. Let us live our lives. And next time, get
My
some
culture
regular
is not
fries.
your costume.
Yes.
Lucas keeps trying to dress us in costumes.
I want you to try the yucca fries.
Okay, I like those.
You've had them.
Buck has gotten those before. But since you love Peruvian cuisine so much, do you know what one of the main protein sources for the Peruvians is? Hamster.
That's not true.
It is. Look it up.
They're eating the dogs.
They're
eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
South America.
It's guinea pigs.
Okay, skewed semantics.
They're just big hamsters.
Even bigger. Can I interest you in rat on a stick? Have you ever had that?
A little more meat on that bone.
If somebody eats it, it means it's probably good. If somebody somewhere eats it, there's a reason for that. And I want to know. I want to get to the bottom of it. So fry me up a guinea pig.
The Nashville Zoo is never going to let us back in there again.
We're hitting PetSmart after this, Robert. We're going to go get dinner.
You said that when I have a mouthful. Sir, why do you need 6 guinea pigs? Mind your own business.
Meal prep.
Great macros.
Look at the
no
macros.
way in hell you haven't had squirrel before. Okay.
That's a tree rat.
Isn't it the same as eating a squirrel?
No, not even close.
Which I'm against. I'm now that I'm for some reason on a nature kick, I've got bird feeders and squirrel feeders all over my yard.
Squirrels are good. I don't mind that. Raccoon, greasy. Super greasy and stringy.
I can see that.
Yeah, they eat trash. What do you think their insides are?
I mean, it's the same thing as a catfish. They're a land catfish. Catfish sit on the bottom and eat all the fish gunk that's down there. Tilapia, same thing. Bottom feeder. Shrimp, bottom feeder. Oysters, clams, mussels, all filter feeders. Trash. It's like eating your air filter at your home. Did you look up the macros for a gerbil yet? I need to know.
A gerbil or a guinea pig?
Either one. I don't.
How much protein?
No, macros. Say macros.
In a cooked guinea pig. Oh, we're talking about 19 grams, 20 grams of protein per 100 grams.
Wow.
Those are good macros.
Okay.
Packed.
Okay, I'm going to order us a gerbil to cook then.
All right. Weren't we supposed to talk about something here, Will Levis adjacent?
It's highly nutritious.
Okay. Maybe you wouldn't trade your plantain chips, but you would certainly trade Will Levis.
Well, Robert has something on this, right?
I do have something on this. So this comes from Kyle Crabb, who used to be a longtime reporter for the Miami Dolphins, still does Locked On, the Locked On series for the Miami Dolphins. He works for A to Z, does exceptional work. My buddy sent me this, and I think the context is important of why he sent me this. He said, hey, Kyle Crabb had a trade that I don't hate for the Dolphins and the Titans. I said, okay, send it to me. And so Kyle lays this out, and I think the important part of it is a Miami fan thought this would be a good trade. Perception-wise, a fan of the Dolphins was like, I would do that. So here is Kyle Crabb setting up a trade for Will Levis to the Miami Dolphins.
I think this is my favorite one. He's got $2.05 million left on the last year of his rookie contract. He's age 26. He's got effectively 2 years of starting experience. He missed last year with a throwing shoulder injury. Why are they going to be tethered to this quarterback? They should be very readily willing to move on. And from a trade compensation perspective, it gets a little hazy, but I'm giving Tennessee a third-round pick. Don't panic. It's not just a third-round pick. The Dolphins give 87 and get back 101, 184, and Will Levis. So from 87th, you drop back 14 spots to the first pick in the 4th round. You pick up another day 3 draft pick late in the draft at 184, and then you get the quarterback and Will Levis in a contract year owed $2 million in cash.
So, just to wrap it all up with a bow, you would essentially be buying a better draft pick, sending Will Levis, 101, the first pick in the 4th round, and a 6th rounder, which they have 2 of, for Miami's 3rd round, which is 87th overall. It would feed into their X amount of top 100 picks in X amount of years. It would give you, Daniel Jeremiah put a tweet out today that said 50 to 75 is the sweet spot, so you would be right on the end of the sweet spot, still getting a top 100 talent. I think Titans fans would be ecstatic.
Immediately, the first two comments are, hell no and no way. That sucks.
Really?
I'm looking right at the chat.
Okay,
the first three responses to that are no.
If you are against this, I would like for you to call in and plead your case. 615-737-1045. Because in my mind, if you get to move up 14 spots in the premier section of the draft, if you trade Will Levis straight up a month ago, we were talking about getting at max a 5th-round pick where you send someone else a 6th. This is incomparable value compared to a straight-up trade where you receive a 5 or a 6.
Well, and why would Dolphins fans be okay with it, with the idea of trading for Will Levis?
Because it's a cheap aspect?
Sure, but also, who did Will Levis have the most improbable comebacks of all time against twice?
I remember that guy.
In big spots. The Dolphins. He's
Richie says in the F&M Bank chat, a 3rd-round pick? They don't know about us. We give away players for late-round pick swaps, buddy.
You are unfamiliar with our game, my friend. Dolphins.
That's too rich for my blood.
John Eric Sullivan's like, why the hell would someone put this out there?
Man, if you could get a 3rd for Will Levis, whew.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what else is in the deal, honest to God, after that. Just take the 3rd and run. You traded that would essentially, it wouldn't give you back quite half of what you gave up to get him, because remember, they spent the 2nd and also traded a 3rd to move up and get Will, which again, in principle, if I took the name off the player and said, you have the opportunity to get a potential starting caliber quarterback at the top of the 2nd round, if you give up a 3rd-round pick to get him, most people are going to say yes to that because of the positional value. Once you put the qualifier on it, but it's Will Levis, people in this part of the world, especially people who have seen him play college football, would say, absolutely not. What are you doing? I know that guy.
What's the most one of these reclamation project type quarterbacks has gone for in a trade? A lot of times they're just free agents, right? Zach Wilson was a free agent. Sam
What did
Darnold
Darnold get traded for?
So he was traded to Carolina in exchange for a 2021 6th-round pick and a 2nd and 4th rounder in 2022. So 3 picks total.
So it's Darnold.
Man, a 2nd and a 4th on top of the 6th.
Wasn't he the 3rd pick in the draft?
Yeah. So he was traded in 2021 before the 2021 draft for a 6th-rounder in that draft and a 2nd and a 4th in the following draft.
If I remember correctly, last year only 3 quarterbacks were traded in season, or also including the preseason. It was Kenny Pickett from the Browns to the Raiders. It was Sam Howell from the Vikings to the Eagles, and it was Joe Flacco from the Browns to the Bengals. I don't think any of those trades netted better than a 5th-round pick.
What did Pickett get traded for?
I think it was a 5th.
It was a 5th and Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
So a nothing.
Because he didn't make the roster.
Yeah, it's a nothing.
I mean, yeah, I'd take that and run.
So one of the major pushbacks from people in the chat are saying, don't do this trade because it's the extra pick they have to give. So that 6th-round pick, they do not want to move off of him because the chat is citing that we need players, we as in the Tennessee Titans. So my argument would be, would you rather have a better player at 87 overall, or would you rather have the guy you take at 101 and Khalil Mullings?
Yeah, turn that 6 into a 3rd any day.
I just don't understand why there's any pushback at all. I mean, these are the same people that would have flipped him for Lucas's terrible bland plantain chips a moment ago.
Disrespectful. I'm going to eat now.
Okay, go ahead. 615-737-1045 is the number. We'll take your calls on this if you do have a case as to why you wouldn't want to do that deal. Again, Robert, lay the details of the trade out again for people. What would they send with Will Levis to Miami in exchange for what?
It would be the 101. In his case, it was a pick in the 180s and Will Levis. It's a first pick in the 4th round, a 6th-rounder, and Will Levis for the Dolphins' 87th overall 3rd-rounder. I can't believe there's pushback saying no for this.
It's majority pushback.
I would have had this 100% on the other side of the spectrum.
I am inclined to agree with you, but, the internet never ceases to amaze. Also, speaking of the Dolphins, let's talk about the most doomed teams in 2026 coming up next.
It's hard to determine outlook for a team's 2026 season when we're still a few days away from the start of free agency. We're still a couple months away from the NFL draft, but we can take a look at trajectory and just how hard the path will be to build back up for several teams. Now, you may be thinking I'm talking about the Titans, but the Titans have a young quarterback. The Titans have oodles of money in cap space, a top 5 draft pick. So you see the path forward.
Oodles.
Whether or not they execute it properly.
He was just thinking about noodles.
Is an entirely different matter.
How? He just had half a chicken sandwich in his throat.
What happened to oodles of noodles? Was that ever a thing around here?
I don't. It's like a chain store?
Yes. Different pastas. You go in and you pick your pasta type. You pick your pasta sauce. Surprised Lucas isn't all over this.
I love the goodles, the mac and cheese that they sell at like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. Or I guess it's Whole Foods, not Trader Joe's.
I used to date a girl whose last name was Goodles.
I don't buy pasta sauce.
That's not
You
real.
don't have to buy. We're not talking.
Did you hear how disgusted he was with you?
I'm not high and mighty about anything else. Let me be high and mighty
You
about
were
pasta sauce.
so high and mighty about your terrible plantain chips. You're basically eating cardboard.
Ugh, whatever.
It was terrible.
So
who's doomed? Who has no hope? Like, Titans fans do have hope.
No, it's the only thing they have. They may
Right.
not have wins. They may not have good football players, but by God, they got hope.
But there are teams that have fan bases that are having a hard time coming up with hope. Now, the Jets perpetually.
Oh, Noodles and Company, not oodles of noodles.
Noodles is still around.
Okay.
Meatball sub off the menu. The best thing at Noodles.
Really?
So good.
Have you ever ate at Noodles and Company, Luke?
Oh, yeah, in college all the time. I had a bunch of friends that worked at one.
So who's doomed? Other than Lucas's gastrointestinal tract.
The Jets are always in this conversation, it seems.
At least for immediately. Miami. What the hell? What are you selling Dolphins fans? In 2026, where Tua is still under contract on your roster, where guys like Bradley Chubb have already been shipped off, Tyreek Hill is obviously not going to return. You're talking about Jalen Waddle, who's a good receiver.
Got the number 11 pick in the draft.
Achane, aren't they talking about potentially moving Achane too?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, so Achane and Waddle. That's it. And who's the defensive lineman that's been there for 100 years that picked off Levis? Sealer?
He was Ozzie Newsome's last pick as a general manager.
Really?
Yes.
He's a good player.
They wish we could have kept him.
So it's Zach Sealer, I think, is the defensive lineman who's been there for a long time. He's criminally underrated, been a good player for a long time. But again, you're not selling the defensive tackle to anybody.
Well, I mean, also their first-round pick last year, Kenneth Grant, who really didn't live up to expectations, but if you're still looking for a marquee player, he was drafted in the top 15 picks. And Jordan Brooks had a pretty good year last year for them, former Seattle linebacker.
Is that enough to inspire the Dolphins fan base that used to be regarded as one of the most winning, if not the most winning franchise in pro football? That has been 100 years since they have been that. They are now a regional team. They used to be one of the biggest national brands in the sport.
Yeah, even the Raiders fans have something to hang on to here with the number 1 overall pick and whatever capital I guess they could get out of the Max Crosby trade, which, by the way, is being reported by Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show that the Bears and Cowboys are among the teams in serious pursuit of Max Crosby.
Jerry.
Lane Johnson, the Eagles' right tackle, has just tweeted the eyeball emoji and tagged Max Crosby less than an hour ago.
That gave me a trade idea, by the way.
Go on.
Raiders, Eagles, Crosby, AJ, Eagles give them a second.
So AJ to Vegas.
AJ to Vegas, plus a second-round pick. They get Max Crosby.
I don't think Howie would do it, but I like that for both sides.
I think both of them would be major winners.
Again, I want to know how healthy AJ is.
Maybe not the Raiders. They have a bad history of trading for a former top 5 wide receiver and then it blowing up in their face. I'd like my feet cold today, thank you.
Okay, he's not.
Oh, no, I've been frozen in carbonite.
The fact that he showed up to that training camp in a hot air balloon is even better with the messed up feet.
I'm not working out unless I can wear my helmet. He just had the.
That's right.
It was the dumbest offseason ever.
Did you see that Mayock said he showed up with an old model of the helmet that he painted himself like a child?
And it was all on camera for the world to see.
That's what I'm saying. That's when I stopped watching Hard Knocks because I'm like, you're not showing any of this. Like all of this is being reported. This entire disaster around Antonio Brown, and we're not seeing any of it other than he's on the Raiders. Half of it I'm following on his Instagram feed because he's doing that thing, the cinematic Titanic music, when his agent calls him and tells him he's released.
You're here. There's nothing I fear.
It's just so funny to think of Gruden in the middle of all that.
There's a guy, man. Where's that Antonio Brown at?
Like John Gruden's face while in a one-on-one meeting with Antonio Brown would have been something to see.
No,
He's got that Popeye face.
Watching him descend, watching Gruden's face, watching Antonio Brown descend from the sky in a hot air balloon to training camp. Oh, my God, so good.
I would like a blimp.
So is there a fan base that feels more hopeless? Number one,
I think Dolphins fans got to be down bad right now.
Are they more hopeless than Jets fans?
I think Jets fans talk themselves into it every year. Look at that one. There's one back there.
Zach, are Jets fans just nod or shake your
It's like
head?
going to seeing an animal at the zoo. Look, a Jets fan,
Are
honey.
Jets fans going to talk themselves into whatever they're going to put out there this season?
No, Robert's still not letting him talk on the microphone.
He said no.
I think he's a smart Jets fan, though.
Yeah, he
There's not many of those.
Zach
Okay,
does
but
seem like a smart Jets
I'll
fan.
throw two more at you. The Arizona Cardinals. Because they've never won anything.
I think there is hope in moving on from a quarterback that you were dissatisfied with.
Now you got to find another one.
No, I know.
And your new coach wants to bring in Jimmy G.
Does he really?
Yes,
I haven't
because
seen
that was his guy.
Oh, no.
So I would be
All right, never mind.
despondent.
I take it back.
And then the fan base that talks themselves into anything every year because they're probably the most passionate fan base in the NFL, the Browns. And they've just been in, I rode in the hardwood of the desert, no name, or whatever that song is. Like they just trudging through, dude. They got nothing.
But see, I feel more about the Jets that way than I do the Browns anymore. Because, like, theoretically, if the Browns just even get serviceable quarterback play, they can mess around. They can put some points on that bad Bengals defense. They can, not be the worst, right? They have things.
And they still win awards every year. Like Miles wins Defensive Player of the Year.
He's the best defensive football player I've ever seen in my life.
You just had Defensive Rookie of the Year. You won worst contract in NFL history. Like they win awards. They're not alone.
Try not to enjoy this so much.
I'm going to be honest. When the Ravens play them every year, I'm shaking in my boots. They have split with them the last 4 or 5 years, 6 or 7 years in a row.
No.
Nobody knows what. Stop making that noise. Stop it.
How do Colts fans feel?
Well, that's the one that I'm going with because they were the best team in the sport, and they gave up things to try and solidify their position as not just best team in the sport but Super Bowl contender.
Yeah,
those things that they gave up. Now, not only the health of your quarterback who's on your roster for $40 million to not play next year. He's not. Maybe he plays at the end of the year, but at that point, for what?
What are the quarterbacks under contract there?
The Riley Leonard.
That's right. They're going to reportedly trade Anthony Richardson.
Is Ellinger still there, or is he somewhere else?
He is somewhere else. He had a chance to go back to the Colts.
And I think he said no, right?
I think he wanted to be retained by the Broncos practice squad, but I would have to double check that. Let me check
do that? Can you protect players?
Yeah, well, not protect, but you can turn down, if you're a practice squad player, you can turn down going to another team's active roster.
Okay. It's the Colts because they were so close. Like, everybody thought they were going to win it. They were awesome, both sides of the ball, and then the whole thing just went like poof, just in smoke. It's crazy. And now it's not just their immediate in 2025. What are they going to do this year? Pray to God that somebody flips them a 6th for AR?
Ay.
I feels like if any one of us did that except for you, it would be discriminatory.
I was about to do it, and I got scared.
Good. It's the only tool I have to keep you in line back there.
Hey, Bart.
No.
It is. It's almost a worse place to be than the Jets fan or the Dolphins fan. That's like, what do we even have?
You were right there. You could see it.
You could see it.
You could reach for the divisional title. They haven't won the division since 2014. The division was in hand. The playoffs, the AFC was weak. Everybody's talking about, think about the Colts if they were healthy, having the path through the playoffs that the Patriots did.
Man, yeah, you've got the running back. You've got young talent, Tyler Warren. You can bring back Alec Pierce. That is on the table, right? That the Colts just bring him back on a long-term deal.
It's going to cost him a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, but, I think worth it if you keep utilizing him the way you've utilized him. But the quarterback is a big piece of that. Sauce Gardner tweeted, by the way, yesterday. Did you see this? He tweeted, should I lock Alec Pierce in my basement and force him to sign the contract papers?
Yep.
Cincinnati teammates.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they played against each other every day in practice. Zach brought up an interesting team. I wonder what you guys think about it. How would you feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers? And because me and Ramon talk about this frequently. It feels like the Steelers are kind of in draft purgatory. Like they're never bad enough to be in contention for a top quarterback, never good enough to win the whole thing. Like they're just stuck in average, stuff in good but not great. Like, do you think Pittsburgh fans, in fact, I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans because they're morose about, we've got to get rid of Tomlin, who's probably arguably of the three head coaches they've had, maybe the best, at least record-wise. And they're still bemoaning the fact that they kept him so long. How do you think Steelers fans rank in this? Like, at least they've won something.
They can't feel good.
And you've got
going from one coach that can't get it done in the playoffs to another coach that has gotten it done. I mean, they're basically the same thing.
And Rodgers has officially started the update. There is no update. Sort of rigmarole on the Pat McAfee show.
Am I going to have to go through a whole offseason of him talking about how much his wife wants to bang him? Did you see that yesterday?
Oh, yeah. That's why he's staying in shape.
He's like, I just want my wife to be able to, want to bang all the time. It's like, thanks, Aaron.
He said he has had
your wife that nobody thinks exists, your fake wife.
People were alleging she was an AI wife and he married a computer software.
He said he has had no progressive conversations with the Steelers and there has been no contract offer from the Steelers. So, I mean, I guess to Aaron Rodgers' credit, he can't make a decision on something when it has not been proposed to him.
People or there is one person in the FNM Bank chat who is saying that L'Jarius Sneed is tweeting through some stuff. This is the thing I don't want to do through this process, though. I do not want to assign something to an athlete's tweet that we assume is about football. Because in the case of Sneed, it could be about his legal situation.
All he tweeted is, however it goes, just know I'm all in.
Yeah, let's
prayer hand.
Let's calm down, okay?
That's actually high fives. Not prayer hands.
Is it? Okay.
It is.
I've always wondered about that.
Yeah.
But it looks like prayer hands.
Common misconception. So, whatever's going on with Sneed, if something happens with Sneed, we'll tell you.
A Colts fan buddy of mine by the name of Henry, who I believe you have both met, just texted me, said, all depends on QB for how Colts fans feel. Riley Leonard will lead us to the promised land until DJ comes back.
Is he drunk?
So that's where they are.
12:34 in the afternoon.
I mean, if anything,
everybody hammered.
If anything shows you just how much the Colts are over the Anthony Richardson thing. They don't have a quarterback to play before Daniel Jones gets back, and they still want to trade Anthony Richardson.
I don't know who did the piece in The Athletic about it, but most of it is being pinned on Shane Steichen, the way that he mismanaged the entire situation. And you don't see a lot of criticisms of him.
Which is crazy that Ballard is once again just like Neoing the Bullets.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you think Ballard's talking to some reporter at The Athletic?
Yeah, he's the full like trench coat and everything.
You think he's like, well, Steichen's the one who said that we weren't going to start another quarterback after we put Joe Flacco in and then put AR back in.
I think he's just playing a game now. How many quarterbacks can I start? Break the record for the general manager to start the most quarterbacks in one tenure.
And for what it's worth, like, I don't think Ballard's classes have been bad. Like, he's had hits.
Their roster is good. They just have mismanaged the quarterback situation at almost every turn since he got that job.
It was so funny. McShay did an interview with Ballard, and he was like, quarterback, one of the hardest positions to evaluate. And he's like, don't I know it?
At least he's self-aware.
For my last.
At least he's self-aware.
Like, he literally hit on the last one, and the dude broke a tibia and ruptured an Achilles.
I mean, yeah, like we're having a different conversation around Chris Ballard. If just Daniel Jones doesn't have the worst possible thing that could have happened to Daniel Jones happen on two fronts, right? It's a fibula fracture and an Achilles injury. And now he's going to pay that guy $40 million to just stick around.
I mean, I guess... Yeah, what in the world do you do at quarterback?
If I was any kind of fan in the NFL, if I was a Colts fan, I would hate my life because they seem to be stuck. What's worse than being the worst? It's purgatory, right? It's what the Steelers fans are complaining about, even though I don't think they're quite in as big of a purgatory situation.
Their first pick in the draft is 47.
In a draft that's not very good.
And Dane Brugler mocked Jake Golday, the linebacker out of Cincinnati.
Oh, enjoy that.
He's a good prospect.
What's the defensive coordinator's name? Lou Anarumo. Enjoy that, Lou.
Who's the quarterback that the Colts can draft that their fans can convince themselves is the next, like, Brock Purdy or something?
Oh, Taylon Green.
I think easy.
If they do it again?
No, they can't do that. Yeah.
It's like, hey, I know you guys loved that last athletic freak we had. This one's even bigger and even badder. No, he's not as bad as AR. Taylon Green's a better quarterback than AR, right?
He's played more football, that's for sure.
I don't know, man. I watched it, and maybe it was just because the one game that I watched Taylon Green last year was the Notre Dame game where they just got smoked.
He went down his leg.
Went to work against Tennessee.
It was so bad.
Just draft Diego Pavia and prayer hands emojis.
Oh, my. That would be best case scenario for this show. If Diego goes there and he's just
starting against the Titans.
Vols fans already hate him, but like just looking for a reason to hate him a little extra.
That would be so good. Oh, my God. I have a new dream scenario. Either that or what was the Georgia Tech? Haynes King. Haynes King would be so much fun.
Dog.
It would be so much fun.
They would be running the read option with Jonathan Taylor and Haynes King.
That dude's going to be on a roster, man. I think Haynes King's going to be on a roster.
He right now is talked about as like a late 7th round or potential UDFA. I'll say this is my hot take for the day. If the Broncos had Haynes King instead of Jared Stidham, they would have beat the Patriots. How do you like that?
I love that.
Jared Stidham. Did you see the report that came out yesterday? General managers and evaluators around the league view Jared Stidham as a starting quarterback in the league.
Christ.
Go back and watch that game. He handicapped them. They couldn't do anything.
All he had to do in that game was not be a detriment to him.
Right. Like, it's like do you remember the COVID game where all 3 of the Broncos quarterbacks got knocked out and that wide receiver had to play quarterback? I think if that was the scenario, he would have gave the better run for their
Kendall
money.
Hinton?
Bingo. Something Hinton.
Why do you know that?
I don't know.
Former Wake Forest wide receiver.
Sean Payton also didn't do Stidham any favors in that game.
Somebody on YouTube says, is Pavia killing it for the Colts worse than Payton doing it? What?
Would it be worse for Vols fans than Peyton going to the Colts and doing well, or Pavia going?
Because I think there's a lot of Vols fans that just became Colts fans,
but
right?
But like for the Vols/Titans fans like myself that grew up watching beloved Peyton Manning just bludgeoning my team twice a year. I don't know what would be worse. That or
it's Peyton Manning. Diego Pavia is not. Stop it.
Well, this is in the event that Diego Pavia is as good as Peyton Manning.
You have never reaped more of BVS in your entire life than trying to make the case that Diego Pavia would all of a sudden become a co-MVP in the NFL and bludgeon your football team for years to come.
What's worse, watching your beloved Peyton take you behind the woodshed twice a year for multiple years, or watching Diego Pavia just one more time take it to your team?
The 2-decade reign of terror that he had over the AFC South.
His brothers would be so excited to come back. He's like, we're going to do it right this time.
They'd be the next ones to Sanchez their way through an alley, huh?
We're going to do it right this time. We're definitely not going to get arrested before 2 a.m.
The more I say things like that, we didn't go to the Monument Circle and take the awkward family pictures. We didn't run the 40. We didn't go to the Starbucks where Rappaport and Schultz got in a fight.
We got to go again next year.
I want to run the 40. I want to see how many NFL prospects we have a faster 40 than.
There's
0.
Not a single one.
Nah, I think I could crack.
You turned your ankle going down the stairs.
I think I could go under 5.
No way.
Shut
For
up.
sure.
0% chance
I
you
for sure could.
No. When's the last time you ran a
There's
40?
no way you are aerodynamic with that ass.
The last time I ran 40 yards, I don't know.
I've probably drank 10 times the amount of 40s than I have ran 40s in my entire life.
Again, I would dust you both, and none of us would be in a situation where we finish with a faster 40 time than an NFL player, future NFL player.
My 10-yard split would be faster than yours, though.
No.
Yes, it would. It would. It's all power, an explosion,
It's
lower
gas.
half.
It's flatulence.
Who had the worst
Yes, I
40
run
time
by.
of the combine?
Oh, good question.
Find out next. All right, what did you tease going to break? What are you going to share with us in the audience?
How slow do you think the slowest 40 time in NFL scouting combine history is?
We'll get to that here in just a second. 615-737-1045 is the number. Last call for phone calls. If you've got them, let's go with Paul in Clarksville.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Well,
I have the hottest take of this whole draft season. Are you ready?
Get your flamethrowers.
Horrendous.
Burt is the perfect Costello to the Buck Abbott.
That's a draft take?
Yeah, because every time that you guys have something legitimate, he comes flying off the top rope with like a Costello-level joke that has a little bit of truth in it. And I told him, and I just said share it. I don't have to be on the air for it, but he said it would be like self-flatulation if he shared it. So I'm calling to tell you guys, Burt is the ultimate comedy relief for the dry take because nobody cares about the combine. We're just making up stuff to talk about. He makes it enjoyable to listen to all the self-postulation and pointless 40-yard dashes and jumping and all that. So that's it.
Thank you for the call, Paul.
Close up a shop.
Fair.
Oh, Benton, what? The first time I didn't feel it, but this time I feel it, and I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me.
Sally Fields.
Bask in it, buddy. R.I.P.
She died?
Am I mistaken in that?
No way.
Why
did you just kill her?
She's
What the
alive.
hell?
Sally Fields is alive, everybody. Calm down. She's 79 and thriving.
Oh, my God.
I'm so
You
sorry.
just killed a national icon.
I don't know why I thought she had passed.
Just with confidence. R.I.P.
A really interesting person.
I'm so sorry, Sally.
I appreciate Paul saying those kind words about me and none of you.
I appreciate you lying to Paul, being like, "Yeah, it'd be better if you say it on the air. You do it. You do it. Go ahead."
Hey, don't you want to say nice things about me? You really like me.
I don't.
Slowest 40 time in combine history.
Terrence Cody.
Oh, no, you have to tell the time, though.
Yeah, what time? What's the time?
Let's go 6:24.
Oh, my God.
What's your guess?
6 flat.
Regis Crawford.
Oh.
What year?
2004. The slowest runner in the 40 in history. Never played a snap in the league. His official time was 6:05.
Oh.
Arizona State.
So I win.
Guard.
Well, you didn't go
I
over.
win.
You have to go over to win.
No,
That's
I win.
Famously how the game works.
Orlando Brown ran a 5.85.
Yeah, he was fat as hell.
Yeah, his is up there as one of the slowest ever.
That's why he fell to the third round.
Still a big boy.
Ryan Mallett ran one of the slowest 40 times for a quarterback ever.
Wait. 5:21.
5.38.
I was close.
Brady ran a 5.28. That is bottom 5 in quarterbacks.
Could we outrun Tom Brady, the three of us?
Ooh.
What do y'all think the slowest time
I bet he's
was?
faster now, honest to God.
Oh, easily. He's definitely faster now than he was in his early 20s.
Definitely in his dating life.
What do you think the slowest time was at this combine?
You don't have to take every shot that's available to you.
I'm going to shoot them all. J.R. Smith, baby. Except for when I need to shoot it and I pass it and time expires. The slowest in this year.
LeBron.
Look at the score.
It's one of the best still images in all of sport.
Let's go a 5.
JR's high ass.
5.45.
What do you think, Buck? This
year? 5.45. I will say 5.37.
5.36.
Oh, no. That's what I was going to say, dude. He took my answer. You went over. You went way up.
Take your ass to the shadows this instant.
Tied between Miami offensive tackle Markel Bell and UCLA guard Garrett DiGiorgio. 5.36 times. Hey, R.I.P. to someone who actually has passed. Sally Fields is still alive. Lou Holtz passed away yesterday at 89.
You're going to say Ryan Mallett.
And Ryan Mallett.
It's also an R.I.P.
Lou Holtz, man. Legend. Who else watched Final Verdict?
Oh, so good.
On College Football Final.
Honestly, that's what I was getting ready to say, and no disrespect to Lou Holtz, who obviously was a very accomplished coach.
Yeah, but for us, he was the
he's a
legendary coach
personality
on TV. Yeah.
It
and
was
he was
him,
awesome.
and Mark May.
Yeah, Mark May.
Mark May and
Hosted by Reese Davis.
Reese Davis in the judges' gowns. Oh,
it was
Mark
good
May
TV.
do what?
Stop. Not in a moment like this.
None.
Rest in peace, Lou Holtz.
We love you, Lou.
And it's also that era of college football, man. Like that era of college football as a fan. Like the RG3 Baylor Bears and the Sam Bradford Oklahoma.
What's wrong with you? You can't, in the middle of a touching tribute to a legendary figure in sports who just died, do his speech impediment.
It was just an impression. It was in honor of him. It was in honor of Lou.
It was.
And all of the accomplishments he had in the coaching field and also on television.
God, I feel so bad for the people that have to use that mic after you.
Out of respect.
All right.
We got to go.
Do some polls and get out of here. Please, God.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Is the Titans roster in good enough shape to draft Jeremiah Love at number 4 overall? 65% say it is.
Today, no. Could it be? Potentially.
What kind of draft capital should trading Will Levis net? A future 6th, 5th, or 7th? 55% say 5th. 35% say 6th. 9% say 7th.
That's wishful thinking.
Should the city of Nashville aspire to be more or less like Las Vegas? 88% say less.
Okay, this is unrelated. We didn't get to it today. Apparently, there's talks of us getting a Sphere venue like the one that is in Vegas. Don Davenport thinks I'm a hater because I think the Sphere should be in Vegas and we should have all the other cool music venues that we already have. Even as I acknowledge, have either of you done the Sphere?
No, I'd love to.
Wyatt, when we were there for the Raiders-Titans game, I think went and saw the Eagles. And he said it was one of the best. And I think he also went to a Kenny Chesney show with his family at the Sphere. He said it was awesome.
Have the older women in y'all's lives hit y'all up for Eagles tickets when they come to Nashville yet?
I feel like somebody asked me for Eagles tickets recently, but I don't remember it.
My mother-in-law, my mother, my aunt, anyone in my family that is over 55 is like, you guys get tickets to this stuff, right? Can I get tickets to this Eagles concert? I looked at tickets, they're like $500.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
It might be the last time that you get a chance to see the Eagles.
Bruce Springsteen's getting ready to go on tour again.
Yeah. And Tedeschi Trucks is playing with them, and they are unbelievable live.
Larry reporting in the F&M Bank chat says we should have a cube. It's like
we do. It's the new stadium.
It's like, have you guys ever seen Futurama? And it's like Madison Square Garden is Madison Cubed Garden.
No, Lucas, I feel like is a Futurama detractor.
You be hating on Futurama?
I never got into Futurama.
Oh, no. You're watching Sex and the City and all this other crap. You need to go watch that.
Two-Tone on YouTube says a pyramid. Just take all of the good things that Memphis has, give us the pyramid, then everybody wins.
What's that called?
The pyramid?
No. When you take something good from a less than. Gentrification.
Oh.
You are aiding in the gentrification of Memphis if you do that.
Well.
Let them have the pyramid.
Aiding in the gentrification of Memphis? I don't think taking the...
Okay, maybe I switched it up. But yeah, I don't think it's right either way. They built it. They did the hard work. Let them have the pyramid.
Okay. Thank God the show is over. We will be back, Robert and me, on primetime tonight, 7 p.m. on the A to Z Sports streaming network. If you would like to hang out with us there, we'll look forward to your participation. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Cultural appropriation.
That's what it